Hey, I love the show. I'm just calling in. I'm on my way to work. Keep it up. No, I'm not. I'm going to sleep soon.
Welcome to the Pixel Response Podcast.
Hey, it's the Pixel Response, sort of.
Sort of.
Most counts, right?
Yeah, of course it does.
Zero Internet Edition.
Did you say Euro Internet?
Zero Internet on my end.
Yeah, cell phone.
Well, it's not quite true. Yeah, I'm calling from the phone. In case you couldn't tell.
You're still
We
haven't got the hookup yet.
Yeah, we tried the Skype in, but it's too intermittent here. We're borrowing Wi-Fi from downstairs. So.
Well, this is kind of like more intimate. It's like people are listening in on our phone call now.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
so,
especially for you, because you actually have the phone up. Well, kind of.
Yeah.
Anyways, welcome. Pixel Response Podcast.
Hey. Yeah, I'm Nathan. This is Paul, and we're media-loving fools who talk about it every week.
On the phone.
Yeah, on the phone if need be. Come rain or shine. Except when there's literally no internet and I'm wiped out from moving. That is a reason not to do it.
Right.
Yeah. Because we've been better. I don't know if we really got into moving headaches, but...
Well, your big thing you were saying to me was your lack of food. Kind of like some food, condiments, and products were just like across the city at your old place.
That was a weird split. So it's like, well, we got cereal, but that milk we bought isn't here. And I have bread and meat and cheese, but my favorite barbecue sauce isn't here. So,
but you could buy more of that.
Lackluster. I could, but it's a huge bottle of it that's already open. It just seems dumb to crack into a new one. So we opted to just kind of move the last of the stuff over. So yeah, we're done with the old place entirely. I think we're paying for like carpet cleaning or something, but we got most of our security deposit back.
So did you do the cleaning thing then? Like
we did some like bathroom scrub down,
the walls, and
vacuuming,
all that.
Yeah, like the shower wall and stuff. Like just kind of.
That's the worst part.
Cleaner.
Like I always think packing is the worst, but
yeah,
the reason why packing is the worst is because when you put things away, you realize how much more work you have to do.
Mm-hmm.
So. Yeah,
there is something a little depressing about it. Like, it's just like we're scrubbing any evidence that we were ever here. Like, it's just like, on the one hand, it's like, oh, well, we're preparing this space for someone new. They can live here. We didn't mind living here, so cool, passing the torch. But part of it was also just like, yeah, erase any trace. Like, the person who moved in July won't know or care anything about us at all. Like, it was just like, the asshole that left this weird stain on the carpet. That's who we are. I spilled a whole thing of coffee creamer.
You know what? It's true, because I have moved into places before where it's like, you look at the walls and you're just like, I hate whoever was here before me.
Yeah, like, I didn't really get to meet the previous people here, but I was, just looking at the bathroom walls. It's like, what did you do? Like, how did claw marks essentially end up in the wall?
Yeah.
Like, did Wolverine figure out he had powers here in this bathroom and then left? Like
why is there a weird blood stain in the top corner of the ceiling? Like, what the fuck happened?
Like, how did it get there?
Right. Yeah. And whose blood
it's fine now. Honestly, it wasn't like ever that crazy, but like the washer, like the clothes washer, just had like moldy crap in the like, I guess, fabric softener port or whatever.
Oh, because they never cleaned it.
Yeah, like it's just like, oh, we'll just put fabric softener in there and then never look in there again. So like,
right,
Brittany
because it's not theirs, so they don't care.
Yeah, it's like, oh, it's not ours anymore. We're done. We're bouncing.
That's
yeah.
gross though, because you still have to use it. So it's been building up for a while.
Yeah, So that required cleaning before laundry could happen. And I missed that part. Like, that's kind of like 4 10-hour shifts. Like, I gotta go. I can't help. And then just like leave and come back. And it's like, oh, wow, it looks dramatically better. Like, it's totally unfair. So I hope I did my share today. I put away like books and DVDs and stuff and piled up some cardboard and threw out the garbage and all this. But I don't know. It's still kind of domesticity. We gotta do our part.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess I walked around the neighborhood a bit today. Like, a lot of it's just normal suburbs. It's really just the main thoroughfare I'm on. Kind of like, it's like, wow, this place is bustling with like totally normal activity and then like slightly sketchy activity because there's like pawn shops everywhere, which is just like, well, I like cheap movies, but like honestly overheard like one of those great sketchy conversations that happens in pawn shops of just like, oh, we can't accept unopened merchandise without the receipt, and like dude getting kind of uppity and like, it's just like, that guy totally stole all that shit.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
He totally stole it and he's trying to fence it here. Like, that's what's happening over there. But I'm just like, oh, Joyride on DVD, cool. It's got the commentary and special edition, alternate ending, neat.
Well, like, I mean, for a little context for people that might not be in the know, which is everybody, except for like you, me, and like Sean and John, probably.
Sure.
You are living in what many people have considered one of the worst areas in the city.
Yeah, like growing up, the neighborhood I'm in was always kind of like, it's our Compton or something. Mm-hmm. Like, it's obviously not as historic, like no famous rap groups or anything came out of here, but it's still, yeah, it has that kind of local rep. But that was a while ago. Like, we were reading about like a crime that took place across the street.
Yeah.
But that was like 14 years ago.
Right.
So, you know, like, it's like all that stigma and stuff is kind of still in the back of your mind, but it's like, I'm sure they've stepped up law enforcement like incredibly because this was a sore spot. Well, so it's going to get extra attention, right?
Well, the thing about here is that, like, when you have your Comptons or like your Harlems in New York or all of these infamous places, the crime is always there because that's where these people are kind of segregated from society. And it's a place where the law doesn't go. In our city, we've never had something that bad. So
like, it's too far gone. Like, just cut it off.
Yeah, it's never been that bad. So it's kind of like, okay, law enforcement is like staking out this area for the next like 5 years sort of thing, heavier. The criminals are just going to move. And they've been doing that.
Sure.
So
yeah. Like, I shouldn't really be that worried. It's just kind of that, you know, mindset or whatever. But
although Boness has always been a pretty shitty place.
So okay.
That's always been kind of a sketchy area, which is kind of weird because that's where the Olympics and like, what is it? Our thing, Canada Olympic Park and all that stuff. That's what that all is, but that's kind of like, a shame. Man,
the Olympic Park has totally, like, even years ago when I last went there, it's like in disrepair now, is like a way to put it. It's just like, oh yeah, we used these once and now they're just overgrown kind of wastelands. And it's just like, that's really weird. Like, why isn't this, like, yeah, like, it's like, is there no way to forge this into like some sort of concert area or like something of interest?
Like
year round,
a giant water slide, like something.
Sure, yeah. Like, I don't know, something. Yeah, it seems kind of like a missed opportunity. But yeah, like it's kind of weird, like the way the Olympics specifically just kind of lingers over the city. Like, I was a baby when it happened, but you're still like seeing stickers on our like transit system, trains and stuff. And like just signs and stuff up here and there. It's just like, remember this that happened? It's like, that was 26 years ago. Like, get over it, yo.
That's kind of like
no one cares anymore.
The Edmonton Oilers, like the hockey team, how like all of
like the city of champions.
How they're still reliving the like couple good years when they had Wayne Gretzky and Mark Messier and all these like big time like hockey heroes. And like they've been one of the worst teams in the league for a while now. And like, I'm not saying Calgary's better. In fact, I'm pretty sure we're worse quality-wise, especially now because we have a bunch of rookies. But like, it's just something weird about when you go up there. People are still wearing Oilers stuff like everywhere. There's one of the main trails. They changed the name to Mark Messier Trail. The fucking what the hell is that called? Their stadium sort of thing where the hockey games are and like concerts and stuff is off Wayne Gretzky Drive or something. Like they're living so firmly into the past about like these few people that have put their city on the map. It's kind of depressing.
Well, yeah, it's totally faded glory kind of thing. And there's totally kids there now. They're just like, who was this? And it's like, oh, the Chips guy. Right. And that dude from the Esso commercial.
Right.
Okay.
The coach of the Phoenix, or the Arizona... Was it Phoenix or Arizona? Phoenix is in Arizona, right? So it would have been Phoenix. The Phoenix Coyotes.
Yeah.
Gretzky went to coach the Phoenix Coyotes and then, like, failed and then quit, like, completely, I guess. So, I think he was... I like to picture in my head that Wayne Gretzky had this, like, romanticized vision of, like, him basically being Gordon Bombay and just, like, no, I'm going to take this team of, like, rapscallions and we're going to go to the top. It's like, no.
The top, baby, the top.
Yeah, and then it's like, no, what actually happens is you pay money, or people pay you money to be on a team, and then they fire you where you quit because you're disgraced as being a coach because these people don't want to learn or they're just not good. So that's what actually happens. Real Life Hockey Talk, Pixel Response Podcast, welcome. Yep.
Well, Canada, so we filled our quota.
Yeah.
And now it's on to other forms of media, I guess. Although we could linger on hockey stuff because there's all this banter lately about the Saddle Dome needing like a new building. Like the Flames need a new home.
Dude, we need a new dome anyway because
is it that bad? Like I was cleaning it up last summer and I was like, man, this place is cool. And now I'm reading in the newspaper, people are like, this place sucks. Like 19,000. What is that?
No,
that's great.
That's
6,000 in the bowl.
It's kind of cool in there because it's like a giant circle, so you could like potentially walk around forever looking for your seat and never find it because it's a giant circle.
It's kind of a neat structure, but I guess people don't like it. It's too small. The capacity isn't right. Like I don't know.
I'm just trying to think of how we can put this. 19,000 people, they say, right?
Yeah, that's what I read in the newspaper.
That's like 1/4 of the Expo, the Calgary Expo.
Yeah.
It can fit in there. And that is an expo
I guess
people go in to pay money to go to panels and, like, shop. What happens when, like, Paul McCartney comes to town sort of thing? Oh, like, 1% of your whole city gets to go.
I guess honestly, reading that number, 19,000, I was kind of baffled because it's like, oh, it just seems so much bigger in there. Like, when you in there, I just assume it's like 30 or something at least. I was like, no, it's not.
No, it's 19,000. There is more people in, like, the small cities surrounding Calgary than that fit.
Like, if Airdrie shows up one day, it's like, no, we can't seat you.
Yeah,
room.
We're seating 1/4 of Airdrie today. We can't do it.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. I mean, not that would happen, but I guess, I guess if it is a problem, it's just kind of weird because that building's always been there and it seems huge, but I guess I'm thinking too small. We're 1 million plus now. I gotta shape up.
That's right.
Calgary's big business now. Boom towns. Actually, okay. I guess next on like the just number of people, I had like almost what I would describe as like just an agoraphobia freak out at the core like the other day.
Wait, at the core? Like, the downtown.
I went downtown in the middle of the day.
The mall, right? Specifically, TD.
I was heading to a doctor's appointment.
Okay.
And I like passed through the core to just kind of eat lunch with Brittany. And I've never been there during like rush hour at lunch. Like I was just like, oh God, why are all these people here? What are they doing? Like it's like I was trying to like think through it. Like it's like whenever I'm at like a big event, like say the Expo or like I was at Coachella or whatever, like it makes sense to me that there is a big number of people there because there's a big spectacle happening. Like, all right, yeah, we all gathered to see this. Like that's fine. I will bump into thousands of people because it makes sense that there's thousands of people here. But just like some mall, like it's like, why are you all in this mall?
Right.
What are you doing? Like there's not even good stores. But I guess they were all doing what I was doing, which is just I'm here in the middle of the day. I'm gonna have some lunch, and like they just move you through the lines like you're just cattle. It's just like, what do you want? Swiss dip done. Here, go.
Well, I mean,
okay.
Like, let's put it into context, though. The core is downtown. Downtown there's a lot of big oil industry and that type of stuff in Calgary. So all of the real business center of, like, all the offices and stuff are downtown in the city for, like, stuff like that. Now, if we were to assume every floor had a minimum of 50 to 100 people, and each building has, like, maybe, like, 20 floors at least.
Yeah.
When they go on lunch, like, 1 or 2 buildings alone will fill the core completely.
Yeah.
So
I guess, yeah. It's just, I've never seen that. And then I think that, and to think that is just a thing that's happening, like, all the time, it was just like, oh God, like, they weren't kidding. Like, the Earth has too many people. There's too many humans. Like, dude, this is crazy.
Like, even where we work, it's desolate right now. But
yeah,
there was a time when there was, like, other companies and stuff in our facility there where that place had traffic, like, going home and stuff. You would be, like, waiting. There would just be people, like, everywhere, because people...
Yeah, like... Oh, man. No, I was even thinking, like, I did think about how remote our work is and how it's weird to me that, like, anyone goes there ever because it's so, like, out of the city, like, off the main trail kind of thing.
Yeah.
But it's just like, no, there's just people. They have business here and they drive all the way out here. And it's just like, what are you doing? Like, it's just...
From other provinces,
kind of blew my mind.
Too.
Yeah, like, it's just like, oh, I'm here to do this, like, do some export-import business, and I'm from, like, Saskatchewan. It's
right.
Like, okay. Like, you went out of your way to come here. Like, it's so strange that someone's day is comprised of that. But whatever, sorry, yeah. I guess, yeah, when there was way more businesses there would have been way more traffic, so I would have
We got some weird
been freaking out even more.
Too, out there.
Yeah.
Like, one time Jerome McGinley, like, when he was, like, the top star still in Calgary, like, shipped his dog, and I swear to God, that day the humidity level went from, like, 10% to 80% in that office. Just from, like...
What?
Never mind. It was kind of a gross, rude gesture.
Oh, okay. I get you.
Yeah, but, like, he came in... The weirdest one is... Have you ever watched Dragon's Den?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
There was a dude on it for 1 or 2 seasons. I can't remember his name now. But he came in looking for his dog, and he looked like he'd been on, like, 3 20-hour flights. Like, he just hasn't slept. His eyes were just beet red, and he's just like, hey, is, like, my dog here? or whatever. And I was just like, you are worth $20 billion.
Yeah.
Like, and you are here in this shitty little shithole looking for your dog in this disgusting office. We are the great equalizer.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Like, it's the equalizer. It's just like, if you want to ship a dog, you got to come through here.
Yeah.
Don't do it, I guess. Don't have pets. I don't know.
The way
if I can make that
blanket
recommendation
by one of our coworkers, I'll name him Peter, because that's still very ambiguous.
Okay.
The way he puts it, buy local. Just don't ship your dog. There's many dogs
like, why
everywhere.
It's like, I need to import this dog from Texas. Like, no, you just didn't look hard enough. Like, that has to be a thing you can get here. What are you doing?
Well,
but yeah,
I mean, I do get some of them. Like, for our company, I still haven't said it on air, and I'm not going to. But the one we work for specifically, there are military people that get sent back and forth. So some people I have seen multiple times within the last few years. With like
service dogs.
Well, not service dogs, just their dogs. Like, they're stationed out there for 6 months or something. So, like, they go back over there and they bring their dog.
Okay.
So that makes sense. A family moving because, like, the dad got a new job in, like, Houston or somewhere in Texas or something, that makes sense. This is a one-time trip. Like, I guess you could drive there, but, I mean, whatever. It makes sense. The people that are just like, no, I bought a puppy, I haven't seen it yet. It's like, you are a piece of shit.
Yeah, and it's like more frequent than you think. And that too kind of blew my mind.
People buy dogs that, like, puppies that are 8 weeks old, because that's when that's the minimum to be able to ship them. 8-week-old, we get more 8-week-old puppies that go on, like, 10-hour journeys than anything I've seen besides oil field equipment. It's crazy.
Yeah, like that is such a recurring thing, and like I guess that it's always this is their first time. Like there are so many people doing this weird fringe service that it requires like its own set of rules and a book and all this stuff to kind of keep in mind. It's just I don't know why.
During the summer, it is almost literally every day. Every day there's at least one or two.
Terrible,
right? Isn't that kind of?
It's summertime. We're coming up on summertime, and like I mean, isn't it like 500 million dogs are kind of around on the planet?
Dude, I don't know. There's probably like 10. There's probably 10,000 in a kennel company here looking for a home
in
before
the sky.
They're killed.
Oh, okay. Are you saying like SPCA stuff? Whereas I'm just like guess as to how many dogs are in the sky at any one moment.
Right now?
I'm just like, like too many are in transit right now. Like just flying dogs.
Like coming into Calgary, I'm gonna guess at least 10 to 20. Right,
and that's Calgary alone.
And that's that's with your Air Canadas and like
lumping in all airlines. But it's still weird thing that is happening that we're forcing on these animals, and mostly dogs. Like cats on occasion. I think there was like a lizard one.
Actually, tomorrow we have a cat tomorrow.
Okay, perfect. I'll get to see a cat then.
They're adorable.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Cats make sense. That's a whole other thing. But anyway.
You know what else is adorable?
Tom Cruise.
Well, I was going to say dogs. Watch Dogs. I've been playing more of that.
Okay.
And
we'll go with that.
I have more definitive thoughts on that. Do you want to talk about that now, or do you want to talk about Tom Cruise?
Well, Tom Cruise, like I just did that. That's why it's fresh on my mind. So I'll
go.
Okay. So Tom Cruise is in a new feature film called Edge of Tomorrow.
I want to see it. I do.
It's worth a look, as it turns out. Like, I was really pleasantly surprised with how good it was. It's the guy who directed Born Identity, Doug Liman. He also did Mr. and Mrs. Smith. I'll forgive him for that.
Dude, I like that movie. Whatever.
Okay. Well, there you go. Another bonus for you. And it's basically Groundhog Day meets Aliens.
Amazing. Done.
So, like it's just, what if you applied the kind of Groundhog Day loop of time scenario to like a combat situation with world-ending aliens?
Why hasn't it done way earlier?
Well, it was done in manga form, I guess, like some years ago, and it's been adapted.
Everybody knows the original Japanese media doesn't count. Everybody.
Oh, okay. Yeah, especially on this podcast, we don't give a crap about Japanese media.
Right. Fuck your anime and your Pokemons.
Yeah, phone me when it's adapted with Tom Cruise. That's when I'll pay attention.
That's such a terrible thing to say. When Tom Cruise
Ash Ketchum as played by Tom Cruise.
Confirmed.
Yeah, and he's like ageless, so it doesn't matter. He could totally pull it off.
And he's short. So like that.
He's 51. And I wouldn't know it watching this movie. It's weird, but
no, he does look different ever since Mission Impossible 2 till now than he did from his early days. There was a point where he did age, but I wouldn't say age more as matured.
Sure.
Yeah, because
he doesn't look like young. Like he's not wet behind the ears or anything.
He looked like a dumb kid for a long time.
A long time, yeah. But like he's still kind of like not. Like, there was a point in this movie where he has basically the same haircut, like the Ethan Hunt haircut from, like, the first Mission Impossible. It's like, it's just, I mean, I can see that age has happened, but it's not that bad, really. It's kind of crazy. I mean, makeup and whatever, who knows.
Even, like, Collateral, when he had white hair, he still didn't look old. So.
Yeah, that was a cool look, too.
Yeah.
He's got just the black hair in this. But anyway, Tom Cruise plays kind of this cowardly officer who's mostly the face of the army. He doesn't actually go on the ground. And a general played by Brendan Gleeson just is not cool with that. Basically forces him into recruitment to like be part of this big, basically modern D-Day thing that's going to happen to turn the tide in this big alien war. And then he dies. And then wakes up again like a Phil from Groundhog Day style, and slowly dawns on him that this is this weird thing that has happened to him, that he's able to do this.
Okay.
And he and Emily Blunt try to figure out how to use that ability to figure out what the alien's game plan is and kind of turn the tide.
Okay, so
unfairly.
he retains his memories from his previous quote-unquote life. His one
exactly,
man,
yeah.
If you want.
So he's iterating, like he's constantly video game logic style, like learning more and more about the way the level goes. Like honestly, I was thinking about video games so much during this because there was essentially just like, we need to write a game guide as to how to beat the aliens. And by playing it over and over, I will be able to do that, is essentially what is happening. Like, just game over, restart style.
So it's like I want to be the guy. Tom Cruise is the guy.
He's the guy. And cool stuff happens. And it's big budget, crazy sci-fi action. And there's weird, like, mech outfits, kind of like Elysium. But I will say this movie is way more satisfying than Elysium was.
Okay.
Like, just gut punch wild, just action-wise. Bill Paxton's there, so that helps the alien comparison. The actual creatures themselves are super strange, but I wasn't, like, not into them. They're just, I don't know. I don't know how to really describe them without, like, creature design-wise, they look like Magic the Gathering creatures to me. Like, they're
lame.
just weird. I know, right? But it somehow, they make it work, because there's, like, elements of Tremors-style stuff, and also just, like, weird panthers is also things I would say. It's, yeah, like, on their face, like the first time they show up, I'm like, well, I'm not laughing at it, but that's a weird looking thing. But also, it looks very alien. Like, it doesn't just look like a big gray-headed alien or something. Like, it's a pretty interesting alien design. So I got into it over the course of the movie. And yeah, those aliens use kind of time travel to their unfair advantage. And this is kind of a turning the table thing with this Groundhog Day thing. And they set up the rules pretty well. They kind of play around with, like, what has Tom Cruise seen already versus what the audience has seen a bit, which is kind of fun.
Right.
Like, it's just like, he already knows so much about what is going to happen that he's kind of just narrating stuff. It's like, yeah, watch out for this guy. And then, like, a thing happens, and it's like, I totally buy that he has seen this happen like 27 times or something, you know, to the point where he has mastered this scenario.
Well, he's the guy.
But yeah, and Emily Blunt, I guess, I'm just kind of like coming to realize she is showing up in a lot of sci-fi stuff. Like, she's like the new Linda Hamilton, but way better.
Maybe? Oh, dude, yeah. I mean, for many obvious reasons, but acting for sure.
But like between Looper and, like, even though I didn't love it, Adjustment Bureau, like, she was good in that too. And now this, like, it's just like, she is just tough lady.
Yeah.
With the dude, tough lady. It's like, okay, this is a great tough lady to have in your movie. So,
but not manly, which is good.
And but she also just has, like, a big Buster Sword kind of thing. So, like, I don't know, like, maybe I'm, like, looking for Japanese stuff, but it's just like, this kind of, I see the manga.
Right.
But it's set in Europe and stuff. Yeah. Like, only Japan would come up with something quite like this, but cool. Like, Viz Media was involved.
You're kind of making it sound like people that really like anime, this might be for them. Like a sci-fi anime real adventure thing with Tom Cruise. Yeah, I mean, it's probably been Americanized a bunch or something, but it was a pretty cool sci-fi yarn that was fun to see play out. I'm trying to think, like, after having just had a fun time at the movies, like, it's like, would this really be something you could revisit, like, right away? Like, you kind of had the ride. Like, I don't know if I could go back and see it a couple more times, like, in theaters, although it was a pretty cool 3D spectacle or whatever. Like, it was a fun one-time thing that way. Yeah. But, it might well hold up as just like, oh yeah, it's like a fun action yarn. It's okay. Like, you know, just in your library or something years down the line, maybe it'll still hold something that you'll want to show to somebody. But, yeah, it was, worth the theater trip, though. That was a fun time. You know, okay, I've never seen the Bourne movies. I know Doug Liman or Lehman or however you say his name. Okay. He did the first one, which I maintain is just the most entertaining of them all. Like, the shaky cam filled Paul Greengrass movies, I don't have a good time watching them. Like, that's just the way it is. It's just like, no, none of these action scenes are satisfying. They're just kind of jumbled messes, and I don't like it. And it also just has, like, a more kind of darker edge to it, because it's like, Matt Damon's on his own, he's this lone rogue agent and all this stuff. Whereas the first one pairs him up with, like, this lady he's trying to protect. And it's just, I don't know, damsel in distress, whatever. That's a good dynamic. Like, it's just fun to watch. So, like, all these two characters, like, they're kind of in this pickle, in this tough situation.
what's going to happen? Oh, will love bloom on the battlefield? It sure does. Look at that. Oh. So, yeah, the first Bourne movie is the best one. And yeah, he did that. So
yeah,
watch the first one. If it intrigues you to keep going, I guess, but it's an okay standalone thing too.
Okay.
Like it's the first movie just has a clear antagonist, clear kind of thing he finds out, and it's fine.
Can I ask you a question about that whole series?
Yeah.
Does he win?
Does Matt Damon win? Does Jason Bourne win? I guess so. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
so I don't need to see the whole series. I'll just watch the first one now.
Okay, that's probably a better way to do it. Like, there's some sad things that happen in the second one, but don't even worry about it.
Don't even trip.
It's okay. Yeah. But okay, so Tom Cruise does it again. Hurrah. What was it you were going to jump into? Watch Dogs.
Yeah. So
Hacking.
Last time we talked was 2 weeks ago because movie day was last week. D-Day. As you like to call it.
Operation Downfall, a.k.a. moving.
I was trying to remember the German title for that. But anyway, the movie Downfall. Anyway. Yeah, so 2 weeks ago, I gave my first impressions after playing about an hour or two. I have played probably 10 to 15-ish now. So I think I have I've seen a good chunk of the whole main story and done I'm pretty sure I've done all of the side stuff, just not all of it.
But you've done each type of activity.
That's right. And that's one of my big problems is that they do the Assassin's Creed thing where it's this is really fun to do. Okay, well, you're going to do it 20 more times if you want. And then I'm like, no, that's okay. I did it 3. That's cool. I'm good.
Oh, okay.
But
specifically the Assassin's Creed 1 thing, right?
That's what I mean.
That's kind of...
That's the game I played. Really played.
Okay, yeah.
Because 2 I went in and out of, and I did like it. But 1 is the one, when I say Assassin's Creed, that's the one I refer to, is 1.
Okay.
Okay. But, so there's an activity called, Criminal Convoy, and it's exactly how it sounds. There's a dude you have to kill, and he is in a convoy with, a bunch of other gang members or whatever, bodyguards, and they're in vehicles. So, taking down vehicles in this game can be oddly satisfying in some parts, but for the most part, it's kind of just arduous and annoying.
Are you doing this on foot, by triggering?
No, you're doing it
barriers
with another car and destroying the car enough until it's starting to blow up and he runs out. Then you can kill him.
Oh, okay.
Maybe if you're good with a sniper or something, you can set up and pick him off. But I find that they see me all the time. When I try to get ahead, if it shows the path this convoy is going. So if you're good and know the city, which is another problem, by the way, I'll get to in a second. You can go around the side corners or whatever up the other streets and then maybe just put an IED down and blow it up when they come by or something. But they go pretty fast, the people you're trying to catch. So you have to go out of the way to come back around and try to get ahead of them with enough time to get out of your vehicle, get your shit set up, and then kind of inconspicuously just walk around or something until they come by so you can trigger it. So it's a little bit tougher to do it that way, but you can, I suppose. But if you were driving down the same freeway they are or something and you go anywhere near them or you try to pass them, they just know it's you and it's you have to do it the hard way after that.
That's weird. Okay. So there's no way to just stealth your way. It's just oh, it's just some innocuous dude. It's no, that's Eden. We gotta stop him.
Yeah. I don't know. It's weird. But again, I'll go back to the city thing. It's hard to know anything about the city because I don't care. I've never been to Chicago. I don't know how close this is to the actual real-life Chicago, but it's boring. It is a dull city to drive around, and that is not good.
What about the L train, though, dude? What about the Sears Tower?
Again, it's a boring city.
The river.
It's a boring city to drive around. And, I don't know what it was. There's something in San Andreas where San Fierro, is San Francisco. First of all, the names are close or whatever. I can't remember what the Vegas ripoff was. Do you remember?
Las Venturas.
Venturas, that's right. That's Vegas. but they feel like their city. But if you were to take out the name that's like, this is obviously like San Fierro, San Francisco, they have the same feel of the city, like the stereotypical just things.
They have the things you think of.
Right. Whereas, like San Fierro has the hills and the, like, BART, the train sort of thing.
And the bridge.
Right. And this doesn't have anything like that.
Well, I mean, the one I was thinking of was Sears Tower. Like, is it there? Is it Sears Tower?
You know, it might be, but it's another building.
It's kind of just a big black building, but it's the Sears Tower.
Right. So, and Aiden is the most forgettable thing ever in these games. Like, anytime I'm thinking about open world games, you have, I'm trying to remember his name now, Alex Mercer, the crazy, like, prototype dude. You have, what was his name? Cole from Infamous? Electrical dude.
Yeah.
I don't know. He has that look with the baldness and, like, doing the weird, like, skating on rails with electricity sort of thing.
Yeah.
You have CJ, who is kind of just, like, black you, that you can make buff or fat or skinny or whatever, so whatever. And you have all these protagonists that, when you think of the video game they come from, they pop right away. Aiden is less interesting than some of the conversations you overread from NPCs in this game. His character is pretty much, this thing happened a while ago, and now I have to do shit to try to get out of this or something. Like, it's so fucking convoluted and ridiculous that there's no character building at all.
Yeah.
Everything about him is completely forgettable. His voice, at some point, sounds like he's trying to do like a Batman thing, being like gruff or something, but he comes off as sounding ridiculous most of the time. And I made him look even stupider because the suits and stuff you can buy for him, the clothing, they all have the same look. Whereas in San Andreas, you could wear a suit. You could wear like a surfer outfit if there was one there, sort of thing. You could wear parkas or whatever. Everything had a different look. These all look like his normal suit with different colors and like different buttons or straps on them or something.
Oh, it's like the same pea coat or whatever kind of thing.
Like a trench coat sort of thing, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
it's like, no, he has a set look. Like, I guess that's kind of the Assassin's Creed thing too, though, of just like, you could buy different like hoods for it, but you're going to be wearing this hoodie. Like, you have to, you know.
My Aiden is so dumb looking now too, because he has just like this big yellow coat with like a baseball hat. So he just looks like a total piece of shit. And I think it really fits his character because his character is a real piece of shit.
It's like, you would dress like this, wouldn't you, Aiden?
Right.
Okay. That's a shame. I mean, you're honestly, like, I'm just thinking of Altair. Like, that guy's pretty generic. Like, his thing was he had wrist blades because it was the first time you saw that. You know? Like, he's missing a finger because wrist blades.
Yeah.
Like, personality-wise, like, I don't know anything about that guy at all. Like, he's an assassin. Like, he's just generic.
Dude, I've been playing this game for a while now, and I don't know anything about Aiden except for that his niece died or something.
Yeah.
Who cares?
Although, yeah, like, I don't know. You just reminded me of kind of your Twitter conversation earlier, though, about Joel from Last of Us, and how his whole thing is just, my daughter died. Wasn't that like 20 years ago? Yeah, but that's my thing. That's my one thing that ever happened to me.
In 20 years, have you not lost anyone else in this post-apocalyptic setting?
Like, has nothing happened that you care about or holds, like, dear to you? Like, no, I guess not.
Well, and my other question is, aren't you kind of glad? Like, why would you want your daughter to be living like this with you?
Sure. Yeah, like, I mean, I guess I'm just saying, like, video game character development, what are you going to do? You know, like,
yeah.
It's just, there is revenge, probably, and you should go get some of that and kill guys or something. And in this one, he's a hacker, not an assassin, but whatever. Like, it's...
I will tell you some stuff I like now, though. Okay. So there's weird things called, like, digital trips, I think they're called, in this game. And they are basically, like, a side mini-game sort of thing that don't have anything to do with the feel of the game. So the main story is just, like, Aiden did some shit, someone got killed, he's pissy, and people are kind of blackmailing him now. They're trying to use him or whatever, and he's trying to get revenge, blah, blah, blah. Who gives a shit?
Mm-hmm.
This stuff is just like, hey, do you want to kill a bunch of cops and like helicopters and do some destruction in a spider tank? And I'm like, yes, I want to do that while listening to a podcast for 4 hours right now.
Okay. You brought up the spider tank last week, so apparently it's the best thing.
Like, it's pretty good. You're crawling up buildings in a spider tank.
Wait,
I don't know.
I don't understand what a spider tank is apparently now. Like, up buildings? Okay. What do you mean? It's like a walking tank?
Right.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, okay. Like a tank. You know how tanks are mobile, right?
Yeah. But, like, they don't go up things. They just have big old treads on them. So you're right, saying a six-legged tank walker thing.
Right, exactly.
Okay. That's cool.
Yeah, so now you're feeling me a little bit more, maybe.
Yeah, like I'm like, yeah, tanks and open world games, pretty cool. 2001, Grand Theft Auto 3, like whatever. I've done that.
Yeah, no, and what makes this great is that like you're on the ground doing stuff or whatever, and then you go up to a wall, and then you start crawling up the side of a building.
Mm.
And you're just like, okay, this is good. This is good right here. Some of the other trips are kind of weird. There's one that's basically like a stealthy hide-and-seek sort of thing, where you're trying to liberate parts of the city from robot controls, and you have to, like, kill them stealthily or sneak past them and go to, like, the point of whatever they're transmitting and hack it so that all the robots in that area just, like, die and you free it. So that's kind of cool.
There's robots?
Yeah, they're just like, they look like people with like TV heads or something, like robot heads, and they walk around in set patterns like guards in Metal Gear or something. And if they see you, they burn you with radiation.
Oh, okay. I mean, this is in a digital, like, fake world, right? So, okay. That makes sense.
What it seems like is that people, like maybe Aiden has like a chip in his head or something, like he's Neo or something. He has a computer in his head. And these are just, like, weird programs, like a drug or something, and it's making him trip out, and this is what he's doing.
Okay.
So, in the context of, like, futuristic technology world or whatever, it works. In the context of 2014 Chicago, not so much, maybe. But, another one is, like, you're jumping on flowers. Like, there are literally flowers coming up out of the ground and the cement and stuff, and you're bouncing across them. I don't know. There's a
goofy platforming. Like, all right.
Yeah, another one is Carmageddon, basically.
Zombies or what?
Yep.
Okay. Sure.
Yeah. So they
do. So, like, does it take itself seriously or not at all? Like this.
The thing is, when it doesn't take itself seriously, it does what a video game does best, and it just entertains, like, fully. Like, it feels good enough that you want to play it. It's not an issue of control or anything like that. When it takes itself seriously, it takes itself too seriously to the point where it's like, this is kind of pathetic. It's like the kid trying to be cool at school sort of thing.
So, like, Aiden's really serious about that niece that he lost?
Oh, dude, the story is so self-serious about hackers, it's ridiculous.
Oh,
when you do hackers, like 1990 style, with Johnny Lee Miller and Angelina Jolie, you are doing it right.
Yeah, that movie's fun.
When you are doing hackers, like, even sneakers and stuff, there is a place for serious hacking. It's not in a video game where you're killing armies of dudes.
Oh, yeah. That's like, that's all Live Free, Die Hard style hacking. I'm just like Timothy Oliphant's hacking the city to get all that money. Messing with the traffic lights.
That has become less of a cool kind of little feature in how you can do missions to kind of forcing you to do it, and it becoming just testing your patience in some parts where it's like, follow this dude, but you can't get into this compound because there's dudes everywhere, so you're going to have to, like, jump around between cameras. So what they're doing is they're essentially, for some missions where you're jumping around through cameras trying to trail somebody, they're creating an interactive FMV sequence or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like, it's what you were doing in the scene is incredibly straightforward and linear. But
it is, when Solid Snake is being talked at and you can look around, this is exactly what this is.
Whereas, like, I'm thinking there's those intermittent moments in Metal Gear where it's like, you have the laser microphone, like, point at the conversation and listen to it.
It's not even that cool, though.
Okay.
Like, realistically. It is on that line when sometimes when you're hacking at somebody's phone and you're, like, listening to their conversation, you're like, there's a weird voyeuristic kind of thing about this that I'm digging, but then there's, like, I have to sit through this conversation when really I could just go in there and pop everybody in the head, because I got to this point in this video game not by hacking people, but by hiding behind dumpsters with my silenced pistol and shooting dudes in the head until I got what I wanted.
Okay. So it restrains you kind of artificially, and that's frustrating. During missions, though, right? When you're just freewheeling around the city, is it just kind of cool?
Yeah, it's fine. I mean, the biggest problem with that is that it's an open world game with a city that is not interesting.
Burn on Chicago, I guess.
And, like, Prototype City wasn't interesting, but what made that game playable is that you could jump from building to building and fly and, like, run across walls and stuff. You can set a point on your map and just get there. In this, it's still the standard, like, I'm a normal person, I have to drive places or steal a motorcycle or walk or something.
Mm-hmm.
So if I don't care about my surroundings in this city, why should I care about transiting there?
Can I ask about the music in the game? Because, like, for me, driving around in Grand Theft Auto 5, say, was never too big of a deal for me, because I kind of just dug listening to the radio and stuff. I just kind of got pulled in real good. Like,
I don't like any of the music in this game except for 2 songs.
Like, what kind of stuff's in there? Like, I've heard kind of split opinions, like some reviews on Metacritic or whatever, like, in their summary line, it actually says, like, oh man, amazing soundtrack. Whereas others are like, oh, it's really lackluster. Like, it's not very good. It's just like,
I mean,
okay.
I could
like,
tell you, but you wouldn't know any of the artists.
Okay. I guess
one of those.
We won't waste. I'll look at a list or something after and see if there's anything.
Like,
but I guess I honestly want to float past you, like, whatever happened to custom soundtracks? Like,
especially for PC. I'm playing this on a computer. I have a library of music. Let me access it.
Yeah, like San Andreas on on the original Xbox and on PC let you just kind of import a MP3 library, and that's great.
Yep.
Grand Theft Auto 4 took that out, and that's
because Grand Theft Auto 4 destroyed fun.
Yeah, like I don't know. It seems so weird, like such a backwards thing to kind of just be like, yeah, you can put music files on these new systems, but we're not going to let you do that. And it's just like, well, why do you have this like weird stagnant library of music from 2008? Like, I don't want to listen to that anymore. Like, I'm good.
Especially for a video game where your main character literally has a portable plane, like a media device at all fucking times.
Yeah, there's like no excuse for it. Like, it makes more sense in Grand Theft Auto 8, like 4 and 5, that there would be that than in San Andreas, because it's the 90s. Like, I guess in theory you have a mixtape, but...
Yeah, but not... if you steal a car, you don't have a mixtape.
Yeah, like, why would you have your tape on you? Like, yeah, they kind of let that happen then and then took it out. I don't know. Like, specifically talking about Grand Theft Auto, but it's like not like every other series does it either. Like, Saints Row doesn't let you do that either. Like, you can make a playlist from our playlist. It's like, hey, you didn't need to license any music at all, because I have tons of music. Just let me put it in there. It's just a weird thing that's kind of been bothering me for a while. And, yeah, so
like,
this music isn't great.
Just for a little, like, background on the 2 songs I actually really like in this. One of the songs I remember from when I was, like, 11 years old. So, like, I grew up with it.
Yeah.
So, back in 1996, there's, like, an album or whatever that came out by a band called Screeching Weasel. And they just have a song from that on there. From 96.
Okay. It's a weird choice.
I like the song. It's a weird choice that Screeching Weasel is in anything other than a mixtape, but whatever.
Yep. That's what hackers listened to in 2014.
And the other one is I don't know how known it is. Like, Alkaline Trio's known, but the song specifically, Private Eye, is probably not one of their bigger ones. Maybe it is. I don't actually know.
Okay.
But, like, that, I think that was from, like, 2000 something as well. Like, early, like, maybe the year 2000.
Okay, so it's not like fresh, hot songs meant to kind of convey what's going on right now. It's just
weird.
Random
it's
stuff.
Just like random punk song.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Hacker music, I guess.
So I guess
Why isn't Prodigy in there?
Which song though? Like,
no, I'm saying why isn't Prodigy?
Oh,
in there?
It isn't.
Prodigy is hacker music.
Sure. Yeah. Like just electronic nonsense. Have as much of that as you can. That's what hackers listen to all the time. Basically, just includes the soundtrack from Hackers. That would help out too.
Yeah, smack my 8 and up. That's the remix I want right there.
Yeah, because that guy sucks. Apparently, I don't know. I guess I'm still like, if the AMD support happens or something, or if eventually I get one of the new consoles, maybe I'll look at this game. Just as kind of a new open world experience that's grounded in reality, which is something I generally like. But I mean, honestly, I don't think I'll care because, hey, guess what's coming to PC? Grand Theft Auto 5.
You know what? When Grand Theft Auto 5 comes to PC, I do promise I will play it.
Okay. They have Movie Maker stuff in it and whatever again, so I'm kind of down with that too. But yeah, I like that game a lot. It was perhaps my favorite game last year, actually. I might have said that on all sorts of places. But yeah. E3D. We don't need to talk about it. Don't you worry.
No, I mean, we're not going to talk about it because I haven't kept up on anything except for people just being like, man, something on Twitter. And then me just being like, really?
Nintendo won. Oh my god, Nintendo, they won.
I know, like, people have been saying that. How have they won? I don't know. I don't know
like
anything about
Yarn Yoshi, I guess.
Okay, sure.
Like Bayonetta 1's coming to Wii U. It's like, okay, cool. That game was alright.
Okay, no.
4 years ago.
Nintendo, like, talking about Bayonetta 2 at all.
Yeah.
And Yarn Yoshi, sure. Okay. I don't get the hype behind Smash Brothers. I just don't. I never will.
Oh, wait, okay. That's a known thing. They already announced that. Why isn't it like, is that honestly getting a lot of press now? Like, again?
Oh, dude, yeah, because people can actually get hands-on there now.
Oh, okay. Like, it's like Melee or something. Is that what people are saying? I don't actually know.
I don't know.
Just Twitter.
I mean, I'm sure, like, a bunch
I haven't watched, like, a minute.
Been played Melee.
Like, because of my online situation, partially, like, I haven't seen a minute of E3 stuff at all.
I haven't even read headlines from, like, about E3 stuff.
Like, so it's just Twitter, and, like, there's this weird moment of stuff with me. I'm just like, wait, is Splatoon, like, a shitty joke, or is that a real video game? It's a real video game? You named a thing that? Okay. Okay. But they oh, it's really fun. That's just a dumb word, but okay. Like, I'll find out eventually, though, I guess.
And I said this on Twitter, is that I do genuinely like Sean's enthusiasm for just, like, everything.
Like, she's like, I got 5 games I'm already psyched about, and she's like, okay, all right.
It just reminds me of, like, when I had my Sega Genesis.
Yeah.
Because I had Genesis rather than the SNES for most of my childhood.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, I heard about the hot new jam that was coming out. I would just get instantly excited. I didn't care about, like, anything else. It was this thing with, like, this thing had a cool title, or it had a number 2 after a series I already loved.
Sure.
Or something.
Oh, man.
And he has that enthusiasm that I feel I lost a long time ago for just random news articles.
Sure. I'm thinking back to my kind of GameCube era stuff, like Nintendo Power. Like, I was the easiest sell for a while. Like, it's just like full page ad for Bex, and it was like, okay, let's go on my list, dude. That looks sick. Like, Star Fox Adventures, gotta get that day one. Like, just kind of, I would just buy into stuff sight unseen.
I can top you. I was excited about stuff randomly
Dr. Muto.
Up until PS3.
Okay.
Because when PS3 came out, I was reading news articles and I'm like, oh man, LAIR is going to be off the hook.
I mean, it's the guys who made Rogue Squadron. Like, it's gonna be sweet.
Bought it new. I bought it brand new.
Wow.
And I was so that might have been the day my soul died. That might have been it. Because I was, oh man, you don't even know. Like, I was talking to people at work about it and how cool it was going to be. I was that annoying kid that just, like, when they see the movie that they're loving or something, or they type something up so much, that when they actually get it in their hands, they just want to cry. Like, I felt so bad after and I was making excuses for it. I'm like, well, it plays like an old Panzer Dragoon or something. Like,
the controls
don't have to be great. I mean, the graphics are great, and like, this is a new system. But at the end of the day, I knew that this is a piece of shit that I was excited about because I didn't bother to, like, maybe take a step back and look at it objectively. It's like, okay, this studio probably doesn't have the chops to do this.
It's like, dude, it's not dragons, like souls.
That's exactly it. So that might actually be the day my soul died. That might have been it.
I don't know if I can pinpoint a moment with that kind of thing, but it's, video games.
Like, that era, though, Heavenly Sword, that was a decent game, but I was over the moon about that as well.
Okay.
Like, Motorstorm, like, gonna be the new racing game.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was an era of just like, no, this is like the best lineup ever.
I guess the one next gen thing I was like kind of pinning hopes on was Dead Rising, and I was actually pretty happy with what I got. So.
Well, you got Dead Rising, right?
Yeah, like I got way into it. So.
Well, that's a tried and true thing. That's like me saying, like, this Metal Gear. I knew, like, with the PS3, Metal Gear Solid 4 is going to be Metal Gear Solid. I'm in, and I was right. I loved it. But, like, it's the new IPs that you're just like, okay, this is going to be amazing, and then you were let down so hard.
Well, I know, but I mean, Dead Rising was new at the time, so it was kind of like...
Oh, you're not talking about Dead Rising 3.
No, I don't know about 3. I'm saying the first one ever. Like, it was just like, wow, that quantity of zombies and also the time limit thing, like, survival time, that sounds cool. And
I was cynical about that one, actually, so I'm glad that I was wrong about that one.
Yeah, I was pretty happy about that. But... I don't know. Yeah, E3 news, I'm kind of totally out of the bubble right now. I'm getting, like, vague, like, senses of some things here and there. But honestly, couldn't really care less, though, because I'm so busy hanging out in Robot Island. Tomodachi, son.
I am surprised.
Yeah?
That you got it.
Oh, well, like, Brittany and I have kind of just been looking at it, and she bought it, so it worked out. It was just
I kind of figured because it's her system.
It's her system, yeah. So she just downloaded it to it, and it was like, oh, okay. Like, I'll play this. And I have been going back and tinkering with it quite a bit.
You know what? When I heard about it, saw screenshots, and, like, talked to people about it, I was just like, yo, everybody that likes this is fucking retarded. Like, this is going to be the worst thing ever. But really, it's just one of the... It falls into the category of games that I would like to call toys, where it's just like, this brings back the feeling of having a Tamagotchi, and at lunch break, I would feed my banana to my little monkey dude.
Right, but you just have a whole village of them, and they can vaguely resemble people you know, or weird random celebrities or something, or just random people from the internet.
I think it would be less fun if there wasn't people that I knew in there.
Oh, for sure. Like, it's like, I'll just tune in and be like, oh, what's John doing? Rolling on the floor. Hilarious! Whereas if it was just some random dude, it's like, whatever. But it's like, yeah,
the night
so much
we made
better.
You're Me,
one
of the first things you were complaining about is being too warm or something. So we put you in front of a fan, and you were just, like, talking into a fan. It's like, it's cold here, or whatever. And we were laughing for, like, 10 minutes.
No, I know. Like, there's just some funny, goofy stuff in there, and it's definitely enhanced by having the names and also them speaking, even though it's, like, weird, creepy, like, robot voice, that it is trying to say things you're typing in is way great. Like, in a way, Animal Crossing doesn't get at all, because you can make it, like, type out stuff, like give them phrases and stuff. But that the computers actually have to like sing the song you type in or like say the catchphrase is like, oh, this is great. I'm gonna make this character say "funk dat" all the time, and then they're done. It does it.
That's like I got the game because I mean I'm one of those people that is like I have to see what the hype is kind of. So
Sure.
I got it, and I played with it for a bit, and it's like, what is Erin's catchphrase? And I was just like, what the butts? So now she just said, what the butts all the time, and she's just like, why am I saying this?
Well, because I played a game with you, or I successfully answered this trivia thing, and now I get to give you a gift, and I give you a catchphrase, and there you go. You're welcome. Yeah.
Yeah, like I don't know.
The thing I was worried about, like early in talking with like John who played it and stuff, I was just like, oh, is it going to be like Nintendogs or something, where it's just like super shallow in what you can actually do? And it's already like way more interesting to me than that, just in terms of just like unlocking new dreams and seeing new food items and checking the store and all this stuff. Like it's already a little more busy and fun to check in on than that game ever was. So
the way I've been describing it to people is that it is the weird in between of The Sims and a Tamagotchi, where it's just like it doesn't have just the easy simpleness of a Tamagotchi in your pocket, and then like in 2 minutes you feed it a banana, pet it or something, and you get that weird little satisfaction.
Yeah.
Nor does it have the weird like intricacies of The Sims where you have to look after all of their fucking needs like they're kids.
Or like micromanage their house and stuff. Like here it's just like, here's an interior design there. Or like here's an item there.
Right.
Like it's not and like I'm going to put your TV over here in the corner and then set up where your fireplace is. It's just like, no, here's the thing. And there's like, oh, thanks. And then they do
like
something.
It's right in between there somewhere. And I could see that if somebody really loved either side, they might not like this because it doesn't offer the easy, just like, this is just like a little gratification sort of fun thing as much. And it doesn't have the like full blown create a house, get them jobs, blah blah blah. It
like deep simulation type stuff. It's just kind of like this goofy, like you're hanging out on this island and you're like the Lord and Master in a weird way.
Well, what I'm talking about is that with a Tamagotchi specifically, it's little, it's in your pocket on a keychain, whatever. That's why it's easy. This, you still have to take out a full system, like out of your bag or pocket or whatever. You have to start it up. You have to like do a few things. And then my biggest problem here is after everything, there is no autosave, so you have to save every fucking thing you do.
Yeah, I haven't turned it off without saving, but that could happen, yeah.
There's been a few times where I just like went to my settings because I needed to change something, like with Wi-Fi or something, and I lost all my progress.
Yeah, that sucks.
I'm just used to autosave. Why can't you put that in that if I push the home button to check on something, you just autosave in the background? Like, because you're the company that doesn't believe in internet, because you are so behind the fucking times with what is a standard gaming thing that you create a product that people actually like, but you don't create stuff behind it to make it really like a great experience. You just give the bare minimum, as always, Nintendo. Thank you.
I don't know if it's quite, I don't know. I haven't lost whatever. Halo does that. So
I know. No, I am with you. When Halo first came out, it was still acceptable. Quick saves, you had to save or whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever. When you get to Halo 4 and you're doing that, you are a piece of shit.
No, like I find it more egregious in that case because like Halo is the kind of game experience you might rage quit, and I have in fact. Like it's just like, yeah, fuck that hunter. This is bullshit. Turn off system, and it's just like, oh right, god damn it, because like it's quick saving. But they're all useless lies, like when it ultimately comes down to it, because it's not a hard save. Whereas, like, this is such kind of a weird casually thing. Like, I'm kind of just leaving it on a lot. But, I mean, I guess I could see network stuff, like if you want to upload a QR code, like, from the system instead of the crappy photo way I'm doing it. I'm going to take a picture of the screen.
Thing that what makes this game fun and intriguing or just like goofy, entertaining is being able to kind of share the experience with the people you quote unquote have on your island. So the fact that there's no in-game infrastructure to, I'm not even say like play around with someone else where you're both in real time interacting with each other.
Yeah.
But there's no in-game thing to share pictures or for me to visit your island and just look around at your scoreboard or like watch you like a video stream or something of you guys singing a concert on your island with your characters.
Yeah.
There's nothing.
Dude, okay, I agree with what you're saying, but at the same time, like, I'm almost also comparing this game to, like, DOAX or something, like Extreme Beach, where it's just, like, you have, like, your kind of little posse and you're giving them gifts and stuff, but, like, you're kind of, like, it's such a voyeuristic game. Like, you're just, like, peering in people's, like, windows and just kind of seeing what they're doing and, like, governing all their relationships and stuff. Like, I don't know if I want just the threat of anyone ever just stumbling into my town uninvited. So...
No, I'm not saying
that I gate, like, what I share pictures-wise and stuff. Like, I wrote a really dumbass song, and it's really dumb, but I enjoy it. And it's mine.
Okay.
It's like my offline little robot world that I am the master of. And I can share bits of it via social media. But I don't want it, like, constantly updating a leaderboard or something, like that kind of stuff. You know?
No, not like that. But I want the ability that is just like, hey, I just wrote this song. Why don't you check out this concert, like an invite or something? And then I get, like, a pass to your island for, like, this thing, and then I go back to mine.
Oh, okay. Like, kind of share the weird, dumb things you're creating?
Let's go even more basic.
Yeah.
You take a picture. You have to go through their convoluted fucking sharing system to post it on Twitter so I can see it.
Is that the airplane? Like, we just got
that. There's nothing in there that you can just, like... Oh, my God, it's so fucking annoying. There's nothing in there where you can just be, like, post this to, like, something on, like, a server somewhere with Nintendo so that all of my friends could just be, like, with a Spot Pass notification, like, look what Nathan's doing on his island.
Yeah.
It's so fucking stupid. If you didn't have Twitter or Facebook or Tumblr and you have this game, you are in a shell, and you are probably not going to enjoy this experience.
It is kind of weird, because, yeah, there's definitely a moment where it's just like, all right, well, I'm kind of running out of stuff to do with, like, these 7 people. Let's go to the internet. And I just added, like, 24 more people, like, just from anywhere. So, yeah, without other stuff, sure. But at the same time, it's like, I don't really hate Nintendo for not making their own weird Tomodachi social network. They just kind of are like, you're using them anyway, just go do that. Like, just figure that out.
Have you used that system, though?
What do you mean? The QR scanning?
No, like sharing photos through their game.
No, I saw that it's like a photo stream on a Nintendo site or something.
It's so convoluted. So you click on this thing, and it's just like, we're going to access your browser. And then that's how you sign into Twitter, and then it posts through, like, a authorized app sort of thing using the Twitter API on their site.
Oh, okay.
So what I'm saying is, why isn't there just a photo stream that, like, when I'm connected to the internet here, this will just stream out to the site automatically if I took a picture? Like, why do I have to do all this other stuff? It's weird.
I guess, yeah, I don't know why they do it, but I haven't really, like, I'm also in a really weird circumstance right now where I'm playing this game with basically no internet anyway, so I don't know how hobbled the internet stuff is. Like, I'm just like, oh, well, I can't connect anyway, so I'm just going to use my 3G phone to try to access the world of Tomodachi life. So I guess I'm not 100% clear that it's like, oh, no, you kind of basically need to do that anyway, because the actual game itself doesn't access the world very well, which maybe that's the case. I don't know. But, dude, I made Paul Giamatti, and he lives in my town, and him and Marshmallow hang out, so it's kind of weird.
If I'm going to simplify what I'm talking about in just, like, one kind of anecdote or something, an analogy, it takes the same amount of time for me to officially post something through their weird system of getting something through my Twitter than if I just took my phone out, took a picture, and pushed tweet.
Exactly. Like, that's why I was like, oh, yeah, like, for example, with me posting like, the code for it, it was like, oh, well, you could pop out your SD card, put it in the computer, upload it, and then tweet it. It's like, I'm just going to take a picture of my screen and hope it works. Oh, it does? Okay, cool.
I just get this picture in my head of somebody telling you, well, you could take out your SD card and then put it, and then like right there, you just hear a click and you're like, I'm done.
No, I already posted it. It's like, It's not the easiest thing to read. You have to zoom in on a little bit, but whatever. Not my problem.
It's fine.
I already got my guy. So
see, what people don't understand is that QR codes were implemented to just be like the most garbage resolution.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter.
It just figures it out, and it's like, okay, that is it. You got it. Favorite color is yellow.
Old cell phones that have like garbage cameras or like sensors or whatever, they can still pick up QR codes. They're made for this very purpose.
Yeah. So
yeah, no, and you and Brittany are officially on my island now. Even though your doppelganger was, I had to kick him off. That cost me $21.
Oh, okay. So kicking people off the island costs money, because there's definitely some people on my island that I'm just like, I was just kind of lonely. I just want some people. I don't know why you're here. Like, I don't know who you are.
I don't know why Batman's there.
Batman?
Yep.
Oh,
I don't know why you're there, Batman. I mean, I love your face, but
you're no longer allowed here.
You don't look like the real Batman. But his name is the goddamn Batman, so that's pretty good.
I do like that it just lets you curse. It's kind of great.
Well, you have to get around some stuff, but yeah, it does.
Yeah. Phonetic spelling.
The most depressing thing is that I had Ryan's Me from like a PAX.
Dude, so I was wondering if I should do that, or is it the most depressing thing ever?
I went into my Me Maker, and not Me Maker, my Meverse or whatever, put him in the Me Maker, and then imported him. And it's kind of like just pretending like something didn't happen.
Yeah. No, this game
really bad.
Has so much potential for that. Of just like, I'm gonna have my own special little world with bad stuff never happened. Look who's here, all my favorites. It's just like that. It's so weird. It's so weird. So it's like they're gonna go hang out at the cop
I have the official Vinny Caravella Me as well, and it looks way worse than fan-made ones I saw on the internet. Like way worse. So okay, this is a thing I wanted to bring up to you. Mm-hmm. You stick with this, the dude actually made this. It says right there under creator, V. Caravella.
Yeah.
He did it. Or Vinny C, I think is actually what it actually says.
Yeah.
So, do I stick with this, or do I go with, Hot Dog 6969's version or something?
I don't know. I mean, maybe both. Why not have Doppelganger Vinny and real Vinny hang out, see what happens?
Because I don't have that many rooms. That's the problem.
Oh, okay. I'm only at 25 people or something. So
I think I'm at 30.
Oh, okay. So my Me Plaza stuff, I can import people from there, because we've run into a ton of people that way.
Oh, dude, yeah.
Okay, good. That would be way easier than what I'm doing.
Well, it's still convoluted, because you have to grab the Me, put it into the Me Maker, save it, and then import it from the Me Maker.
And then kind of fill out its details, right?
Right, whereas this is another thing that I fucking hate the people on the internet for. They never fill out all the stuff.
Yeah.
On the QR.
So I have your name and your color and whatever, but I need to type in your last name. Or no, they just have the nickname sometimes. So I have to put in first, last name. Birthday is usually in there. But on incomplete profiles, it is kind of weird.
I hate it. I mean, it just strikes me in the worst type of way, where it's just no, this has to be completely... My job is that all paperwork has to be completely filled out properly.
Yeah.
So when I see
what is this? You're missing 4 fields. Can't do that. Yeah.
There's console all over.
It's super inside jokes, but just liars. Just dirty, rotten liars.
There's one more thing I wanted to touch on with Tomodachi Life.
Okay.
And that's John's voice that he created for himself sounds exactly like him in a digital version, and it's weird.
Whereas, I guess I was going to say, I think the little smirky thing is a key detail that just makes it that much better. It's just But
he doesn't really smirk like that. But
I know.
I know.
I guess, but it's just something about it just like a little bit closer to capturing the essence or whatever. Whereas like I don't know how I feel about like I think the mustache and hair is okay on mine, but like my mouth,
honestly,
I changed.
I thought that the me that like Aaron created on our thing for you, the face looked more like you.
Oh, okay. I didn't even get to see it, so I don't know.
There is a video of it online.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I sat there with the phone and took a video because you were singing Robodachi something. So
yeah, I've edited that song.
Techno song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a fun thing though. I guess it might have its quirks or whatever, but I'm kind of just enjoying the silly stuff you can find, like the dreams and stuff specifically. That kind of stuff is just pretty funny to see. So,
yep.
Funny stuff. I guess backtracking a little bit, we were talking about Chicago.
Yeah.
And I watched an action film that was set in Chicago that,
okay.
I'm just going to bring up here. The Negotiator.
Yeah. Okay.
Have you seen it?
Sam Jackson and Spacey?
Yeah.
Yeah. A long time ago. In theater, actually.
Oh, okay, cool. You're one of the few, actually. That movie did not do very well, apparently.
I know.
It cost like $50 million, made like 47, so didn't quite break even.
Oh, it almost made it.
Yeah.
That's so sad.
Like I'd seen it once, like 12 years ago, but like edited on Superstation, kind of. So I've never really seen it. So I just kind of was like, man, I remember that being good, and we're kind of up on Kevin Spacey right now because of House of Cards and everything, and like, let's check this out. And it's a solid movie. It's just solid business. I'm not going to say it's one of the best films ever, but it kind of just has this story about like police corruption and this kind of weird extreme circumstance, and these kind of two characters pitted against each other, but kind of trying to figure out this larger mystery stuff. And I don't know, it was like, while I was watching it, there was a moment where I was like, man, why doesn't this get like the rep of like Speed or The Rock or something? Like, this is some solid 90s action right here. And then it kind of just kept going. It's like, this is a little bit long. And there's like a moment or two that don't quite click. So maybe that's kind of why, but it's mostly totally fine and worth watching. Mainly for those actors and stuff, but it's totally fun, Chicago. I'm kind of more curious now about this movie I've been told I need to see called Law Abiding Citizen.
Yeah, okay.
It's the same director.
I've been wanting to see that.
Yeah, okay, perfect.
So, movie night tomorrow, maybe.
I guess. I don't have it
I'll see if
hand.
I can find.
Yeah,
no,
but...
I don't either, but I might be able to get it. You know.
Okay. I don't know if I can commit to that, though, because Brittany kind of wants to rewatch it. She liked it quite a bit, so I might have to save that one. But, yeah. Same guy, though. F. Gary Gray. And I don't know. That's all I really got. Just a Chicago action movie, and it's cool. And I've been buying more movies lately. I don't really know if I have like a real key. Like, man, this one part. I guess Paul Giamatti specifically was on my mind because he has a pretty nice role in that as one of the hostages. And I don't know. It was kind of nice seeing him like just be very volatile and get to kind of overact a bit in the way he's so good at, but in a scenario that kind
chewing
of
the scene.
Yeah, like just I don't know. I like that guy. So my version of him though in Tamagotchi isn't quite right, and I don't know how to fix it. Like, it's just like, I think it's because you don't have any control over ears. Kind of bothers me in Tamagotchi. You can't do anything to ears. So if someone has
hair, for me, is the big one.
Oh, like it's kind of limited.
They have some just generic hair.
Sure. Like, actually, yeah, that was kind of one of my screening things of just like, I would load up a code, and if it just looked like bland ass dude, I'd just be like, nah, you're not interesting to look at. Get out.
Right.
You're not allowed on Robot Island. But anyway, yeah, Paul Giamatti. And, Dean Norris was like kind of the surprise for me. I'm just like, oh yeah, like this guy's like, I mean, he was totally a character actor in the late 90s, but yeah, he's just like a cop. He's just one of two cops that kind of factor into the story a little bit, but barely.
Wait, he was a cop? Go figure.
I know. It's totally like, like early in the movie, I was just like, man, like, you know, Dean Norris could totally just be in this movie. Like, this just fits. And then popped up on screen. Stupid. I promise that happened. Because I was thinking about Starship Troopers.
I kind of don't believe you.
Dude, I was thinking about Starship Troopers, which is 97, and he has a small role in that. Okay? And then I was just
following you. Go on.
I was seeing just like, there's a scene after like a successful kind of bust or whatever where they just have a bunch of cops around. And I was kind of like thinking of other dudes with kind of just faces that fit that type. And then it just kind of worked out. I promise. But I knew as soon as he appeared, I couldn't convince anyone I had thought of him before he was already there. So I'm just going to plead my case, put it out there. I told Brittany the same thing. She was like, okay. But it really happened.
Okay. Sure.
Premonitions. I knew. Latent memories. Dean Norris.
Premonition.
Under the dome. He's coming back. There's no place like dome. Let's move on. To one more. I actually, I don't know. Like, that's kind of... Oh, I'm going to talk about Evangelion briefly.
Okay.
Have you ever watched it, like the series?
No.
Okay. We're around episode 20 now, and I guess the only real observation I have to make right now is like the first half of that series and the second half could not be more different in every way. Like, it's just weird. Like, it's like Monster of the Week style kind of just battle stuff for like the first 12 episodes. And then they just go like, oh wait, let's actually get really thoughtful about our characters. Let's like come up with way more interesting imagery and just like way more ponderous stuff and do that for the rest of the series. And it was so weird. Like, it's just like a huge gear shift of like just action crazy. And then being like, well, wait, what is really going on here? Like, it finally starts kind of digging into it. And it's just like, this is such a strange way to go about doing a story, but okay. Like, I'm warming up to it more now. Like, it was before just kind of like generic kind of like, okay, big creatures fighting and stuff. Like, that's kind of fun. But now it's like actually starting to really dig deep with some of its writing and kind of some of its visuals and whatever. And also the animation just looks like they just either tried way harder on the second half or just got way more money. But it's just like animation just gets way better. Like, more detailed and just kind of, I don't know, just more interesting compositions of the images and everything. It's super strange. I don't know if that's like just the thing that happens in that show, but like, and the final revelations, I still don't know, like, really ultimately what's going to happen, like what's going on. There's still 6 left, but a strange pacing. Like, what a strangely paced like series of just in like
a good way though.
I mean, reflecting back on it, like, it's kind of like, it's almost like they kind of hook you with just the kind of reliable, silly action, and then they kind of try to go deeper and succeed. But, like, if I was to ever rewatch it, I don't know if I'd really bother with the first dozen episodes ever again, because it's just like, yeah, they fight a bunch of kind of other creatures, but things really get, like, the shit gets real in episode 13 kind of thing. Like, it's like, maybe 12. There's like a really cool...
That's kind of like all anime, though. They all seem to do that around that point.
They just kind of hit into high gear. Like, maybe you're right. Like, I'm thinking back on even Titan and stuff, where it's just kind of like, some bad stuff happens, but then kind of nothing happens for a while, and then it happens again.
With Titan specifically, it's like, kind of nothing happens, and then you find out he can become a Titan, and it's like, oh, and now he's part of the Corps, like, the Survey Corps.
Yeah.
So, like, this actually just went from, like, down here to, like, from maybe a 5 or 6 to, like, a 9 for interest level.
Although, I'm so glad, like, maybe pacing, too. I'm really happy that I know this is a 1-season arc. Like, they're not like, hey, how long can we hook you? You know? Like, that is a huge turnoff for me when it comes to anime.
What's in the basement?
Stuff. Yeah, it's just like... like, I was talking to a friend of mine who's read, like, all the manga, and he's way further than the series is at right now, and they still haven't gotten to the basement. So it's just like, oh, are you serious? Like, I thought that would be, like, episode 10 or something. They would finally just go down there. It's like, no, that's, like, the story arc. Like, that's the whole thing. And it's just like...
That's going to be, like, the end, then.
Yeah. And I don't know about that. Like, I kind of like just knowing, like, this was a really big story. Like, people who like anime always look at Evangelion as kind of an important thing. I'm like, okay, cool. I will watch that then, because it's like a one-shot deal. Like, you know, the same way it's, like, easy for someone to be like, oh, I really like Firefly. It's like, okay, I'll watch all of that, because it's one season, you know? It's not like people say, oh, Buffy's really great. It's like, fuck that. There's, like, 9 seasons. Fuck that. I'll never watch that. Ever.
Right.
Ever. What about Angel? Hell no. That's never going to happen.
Even less so.
Yeah. Like, it's just, that is outside the realm of things that will ever happen. Or, you know, I guess I'm choosing safe shows that won't piss off anyone we know listen. But if your show's too long, I'm not going to watch it. It's not going to happen. There's no way. Like, it took me years to warm up to the idea of tackling 6 seasons of Sopranos. So, I don't know. Like, maybe it's just like a wait and see thing. It's just like, does this really have legs, or are people just crazy? Like, The Shield is currently on my kind of like list, because some people have started saying, like, this is actually one of the shows. Like, this is an important show that happened. Walton Goggins is great in it. This is where he comes from. This is an amazing show. But okay, I'll give it like 5-10 years in the cooker, and if people are still saying that, maybe. But it's a huge time commitment, so you better be right. Yeah, TV shows, weird commitments. But anyway, Evangelion.
How is
cool.
Prodigy not in Watch Dogs?
I don't know.
Still annoyed. I didn't even think about it the whole time I was playing until we started talking.
I mean, he's in Wipeout, like 2048. Got that?
Like, okay, I love those guys. I like their music a lot. I have for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure they're not doing enough right now where they would turn down an offer like that.
Yeah, like the last album that made any kind of a splash was Invaders Must Die. Like, have they done anything since then? That was like 5-6 years ago.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the Prodigy are at the point where it's like, hey, we want to put you, take all of our album. I don't care. Take whatever you want.
Sure.
Like $20? Sure.
Thanks. Maybe it's not that bad, but okay.
You know, it's obviously not that bad, because I'm sure they're making bank off that. Actually, right.
I'm sure he's just making a bunch of money off of licensing Invaders Must Die for movie trailers, because that was just in stuff for a while. And, like, I think it was in the Duke Nukem Forever trailer had it, too. So,
oh, man, that's sweet hackers money. That's what happens when, like, 4 of your songs are in one movie. Every time
royalties forever. You know what? He probably does get, like, an annual check, but it's probably like $5 or something. It's just like,
come on. It has to be at least 20.
I'm not convinced, because, like, dude, what made that, like, the guy who played Toad in the Mario movie, he gets, like, a check for, like, less than $1 every year, because he has a song in that movie. Right? So, hackers, I know it's probably got a little better reputation, but not a lot of people really care, do they? With hackers?
Well, a lot of people are functionally retarded. So
okay. Also, one of the same dudes is in it. The guy who plays Iggy. He's the bad guy.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
I played a few more games I can quickly run down.
Yeah, okay.
Like, not... Resident Evil Operation Raccoon City. Kind of terrible. Pixel Boy in the ever-expanding dungeon. Better than I thought it would be. Still not that great. I'm just trying to think of...
What were you playing Raccoon City on, PC?
Yes.
Okay. So just as a campaign, it's just... or what?
It just doesn't feel good at all. It plays fine like any other third-person shooter, but it doesn't play good like a good third-person shooter.
Okay.
I started Phantasmagoria.
Okay.
Yeah, Harvester was an inspiration to me. Gaming, for me, is a religion.
Yeah, and FMV...
And FMV things from the 90s is the shit.
Yeah, apparently.
So I've started Phantasmagoria. I'm going through that. It's fine. It doesn't have the same weird appeal of like what the fuck that Harvester did. So I'm going through that. It's okay, I guess. We're doing Risk of Rain as usual, as somebody might know if you're listening to this.
Yeah.
Whatever. That's been going okay. I don't know if you care or not, but
well, I guess what are you guys doing at this point? Because didn't you beat it?
We're treasure hunting. They added artifacts.
Oh, okay. Oh, like permanent unlock stuff?
Yeah, that's why, like, on my channel now, it's not Risk of Rain Daily Challenge, it's Risk of Rain Treasure Hunters. And the Risk of Rain dude is wearing Indiana Jones's hat.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, so that changed a little bit.
So they changed the game to kind of continue its relevance. Good idea.
They're kind of like the skulls in Halo. They changed gameplay completely.
Oh, okay. Like modifier kind of stuff.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
Okay.
But you have to collect them, like in the levels and stuff. So we've been going through doing that, and then when we get them all, we'll try different like ways of playing the game. Like, well, let's play it where we can die in one hit, but we can do like 5 times the damage.
Mm-hmm.
Or like, let's play it where all enemies explode and we only get hurt by it, the enemies don't.
Right.
So like, it'll change the way we play the game a little bit. So that'll be fun. I didn't get to talk about this last week because we didn't do a thing, but I released that Wolfenstein New Order review.
Oh, okay.
So that's up.
Okay.
Yeah. Should We Care is the series name because I couldn't think of anything.
There's a new Wolfenstein game. Should you care? That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So the next one's probably going to be Transistor, but I don't know. I'm not sure. That was a pain in the ass to do. That took way longer than I thought it would.
Oh, like editing together footage and stuff, or
getting the footage. Yeah. Yeah, getting footage is the worst. So, but that kind of wraps everything up for me. Are you? I mean, I've been working. We could talk about work.
No, I mean, we'll talk about work tomorrow.
I J-packed this stuff.
Damn, that's crazy, son.
Load up the GUI a little bit.
I mean, I did my best to help out with some freight the other night and felt okay about it.
Peter actually was really stoked about that. He's taken a liking to you.
Oh, okay. Good.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'll bring that movie back. I mean, I could talk about Ace in the Hole, which actually was really good, but it's kind of, I don't know, like, I don't really know how to like get into it without comparing it to other things. But so, like, okay, There Will Be Blood is what it kind of reminded me of, and I don't know if that's like just me making some sort of just lazy setting linkages or something, but it's kind of a character study about it. I've heard it described as a film noir, which kind of took me for a surprise because it's not a detective movie or anything. It's not really about crime per se. Actually, okay, here's my entry point. The Simpsons. Do you remember that episode where Bart is trapped down a well?
Yeah.
That episode is based on this movie. And it's basically like this reporter is kind of big city reporter played by Kirk Douglas, ends up in a small kind of newspaper in New Mexico, Albuquerque. And he's just kind of there pacing around, like just kind of looking for a big story, right? Like he's kind of feeling like he's looking for his big break, his shot at the brass ring or whatever. And this kind of local tragedy, like this guy gets trapped in a cave. He decides he's going to try to milk this situation for all it's worth and kind of just write big stories about kind of all this stuff that's going on, like kind of really hype up this story. And succeeds, like big press coverage and all this stuff. But at a point, it's like, wait a minute, you could actually be rescuing this dude way faster, but he's kind of manipulating the situation so that the story lasts long enough for like this grand vision in his head of like, no, it'll be perfect. Like about 5-6 days, it'll be awesome. It'll be perfect. He'll get out in 6 days. Like I'll have the exclusive press rights and all this stuff. Like I'll kind of make a bid for a larger paper in New York or something. Like he does really morally despicable things because of the situation. And something about that kind of just like selfish attitude and like him kind of spinning all these yarns for like the locals and stuff, like it just kind of reminded me of the character study stuff in There Will Be Blood, as well as kind of just some of the imagery of just being in a cave and stuff. Like there's kind of early shots in that movie where he's digging for oil by himself. He's kind of off in the desert and stuff. I don't know. It's like just dusty and gross and sweaty in a way that reminded me of that. And it came out like decades prior. It's Billy Wilder, the guy who directed The Apartment and like a bunch of comedies from the 50s, like what's that one? Marilyn Monroe, Jack Lemmon, Tony Perkins, Some Like It Hot. That movie is one of his. But this is kind of, this is kind of his earlier stuff where I guess he was doing a little more kind of darker edged stuff, and I was actually really, really impressed with it. Like holds up really, like actually, like some of the just the stuff about the thirst for attention, like the just kind of craving coverage and just like wanting to be noticed. Like it's just kind of small town people, and then like the news shows up, and just kind of the way people
kind of
react.
Like Mad City.
I haven't seen Mad City, so I don't know.
Okay,
what happens in that?
So there's like an incident somewhere. I'm trying to remember exactly like how it starts off. Basically, Dustin Hoffman is like news anchor dude or whatever, and he I think is like the best in their thing or whatever, but he's starting to get outshone by some of the other people.
Okay.
Or whatever. So anyways, he's covering some like museum opening or something, and he goes in to take a piss, and the janitor comes in with the shotgun and starts threatening the boss because she is like not paying him like health care or something like that. I don't know. It's something where it's like he's pissed off because he feels like he's been taken advantage of and there's problems at home sort of thing. And it all came to a head, so he brought a shotgun in to like make her listen to him and like his point of view and blah blah blah. And it escalates into with Dustin Hoffman kind of in the bathroom for a while, and then like becoming a hostage and talking to the media through his like headset that he still had on, like his little lapel mic. He turns it into this like little thing that's between these two people, and like it's still illegal, obviously, to like bolster a gun in front of somebody, but he turns this thing that is just in this museum that everybody else thought was empty. Like he was just kind of using it to scare her. And it turns into this huge media thing that like just becomes like everybody on the world's watching.
Like he exploits kind of the situation for personal gain kind of stuff. Is that the
I don't remember if it's personal gain. Like for sure, like there's an ego thing there when it starts.
Yeah.
But it becomes more of a just like, this is just like
blown out of proportion kind of stuff, like just mountain out of a molehill. Yeah.
Well, there is a point, like spoilers for like a 20-year-old movie or something. There is a point where like the gun goes off and he accidentally shoots like his other security guard or janitor friend or whatever that's there, and then it turns into a murder thing.
Okay.
And like now it's become even bigger sort of thing. And since there's a reporter right in the midst of what's happening and it's all live, that's why it becomes this huge thing. And then it ends with a weird like culmination of how this has affected the way like media, like it makes you think about how media can kind of screw with people.
Sure. The weird manipulative power of media is definitely center stage of this. And this is like early 50s. So it's super weird seeing like a teletype machine and he's like sending messages to New York and stuff. And it's just like, this is effectively almost the same stuff that's like happening, just in a way more old, clunky means. But like some of the kind of themes and stuff, and like, I guess just like, even just with like, there's been like 3 shootings in the last week, right? And those should be local news, right? Like that's not something that really matters.
The Moncton one was huge though.
Oh,
like, that was a pretty big thing that happened.
Sure, but like, I mean, in that way of just like, or the Chilean miners came to mind, obviously, because that's like literally the same scenario of people trapped. But it's just like, I don't live in Chile. Why is the world gawking at this? And in this movie, it's like, for that to happen at the time, like you literally had to come out to go see what's going on, and people do. Like the movie also goes by the title The Big Carnival, because by the end of it, there's literally like thousands of people, and like a midway comes through because they're just like, whatever, there's thousands of people here, and like it just becomes this ridiculous literal circus of like just people gawking and hanging around waiting to see what happens, and like it's just kind of like, wow, yeah, this got really off the rails, and I don't know, it was pretty slick bit of business right there. Yeah.
So I like an idea that you were talking about that you stole from someone else.
Which one? What?
I'm going to give you a homework assignment for the next time we do this.
Okay.
Watch Mad City.
Okay. I like Dustin Hoffman, so I'll track that down.
Yep. 1997, I guess, is when it came out. I just looked it up, and he was a security guard, not a janitor. So
okay.
My bad.
Okay. No, that's I've never seen it. And then, yeah, Hoffman, like 90s era, I'm curious about what he was up to. So I saw Wag the Dog, but anyway, okay, done.
Mm-hmm.
I wish I had like one on mine for something to throw back at you, but
well, maybe something will come up. I'll give out my YouTube shout out for the week, I guess. Or whatever.
Oh, yeah. No, sorry. I actually wanted to bring up we were talking about. Well, I was just kind of thinking about online stuff. That's kind of been a running theme about not being connected. Yeah. I watched this movie I guess 8 days ago at this point or something. Transcendence.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, full disclosure, we discussed this a bit at work, so this isn't a fresh.
This is not a fresh conversation, but I kind of just wanted to point out that movie. Like, it was a box office bomb. Like in the last couple months, it did not do very well. It's the cinematographer that Christopher Nolan used on a lot of stuff. Wally Feistner, his directorial debut, Johnny Depp's in it and stuff. I found that movie kind of intriguing in that it reminded me of just tonally of like 70s science fiction movies, like specifically Soylent Green and Westworld, oddly enough.
Okay.
Like that kind of Creighton kind of stuff. Like it's just kind of, it has like just kind of big ideas that it tries to express and sometimes gets it across and sometimes it's just kind of not that fun to watch. But I was still overall like had some things to think about and I was kind of impressed by it. Like it's just this kind of, oh man. So it's all about kind of what if Ascension AI came to be. And Johnny Depp is kind of this computer scientist who's targeted by this technology group headed up by Kate Mara, weirdly. Just she's been popping up in the last stuff lately. Who like they're like killing all these scientists and stuff, and he is stricken with kind of this really debilitating thing, and he's going to die in a couple weeks. But before that happens, Paul Bettany and his wife set up this kind of experimental online upload thing and like managed to capture some of his consciousness, if not all of it, and merge it with this AI they were working on and upload it to the internet. And then there's kind of the ongoing lingering question in the movie is like, is it really him or is it just the AI using his like personality to kind of appeal to people and get its agenda done? And it was kind of a neat spin on some of those kind of like Skynet type fears, but in a much more like just a much different way that it was still kind of like, okay, this has like something to offer on its own. And I don't know, just kind of ideas of just how connected everything is and like having to manage without the internet. Cause like this AI could know exactly where you are if you're using the internet. So for this group to kind of plan any kind of move against it, they need to kind of go back before any of that stuff. So I don't know. There were some kind of cool ideas in there. And I guess I can't ultimately say like where it goes and stuff. But okay, actually, spoilers for Mass Effect 3. Parts of it reminded me of kind of the green ending, I guess. in that.
Yeah.
Of just like him, like there's so many Micro Machine related things in here. Like it was like Metal Gear kind of stuff was coming to mind. But like the kind of merging of humans and technology, like in that ending where everyone's kind of weirdly like biomechanical or whatever. Like there's stuff of that, of just like through these nanomachines, he's able to heal people, but then they also get like bionic powers essentially. But then they're also networked. So there's kind of like pluses and minuses of just like, well, are they even sentient anymore? Like, are they just part of this kind of weird, creepy computer? Or like, should we be creeped out by this computer? I don't know. So I guess I don't have like a...
I think what your words right after you saw it the next day to me were we should blow up the internet.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay. So the solution the kind of terrorist group, I guess, has to come to is just like, we need to blow up the internet, or we need to stop this thing from spreading. And that's kind of what, like, like the movie opens with like a post-technology apocalypse has happened. And it's like, how did we get to this? Well, I'll tell you. And then they kind of go back and chronicle the story of this AI and all this. And it was weird because, like, like this kind of idea, like, just for like a while, I was just kind of getting really angry about, like it's kind of this dumb thing of just like, I know I'm creating my own echo chamber with like Twitter and social networks and stuff. Like the only reason I'm reading this stuff is because I've put these people on my list of things that I'm reading. So why do I have that? You know, like just don't be afraid to just kind of prune on occasion. But the internet was frustrating me on like a regular basis. So yeah, I was ultimately like kind of just stoked that there was a movie talking about blowing up the internet as like a viable...
Past that point now? Feeling better?
I don't know. Like, it's kind of been fun in a way not having the internet to worry about at all. Like, just kind of grabbing a movie on like a disc and just popping it in and just saying, this is mine. Like, no one knows this is happening except me, unless I tell them. But it's not like I'm clicking on Netflix and then it's auto updating somewhere that I watched this, or like, you know, hey, recommend this or whatever. It's just, I watched the thing. That's it. That's just offline. Secrets. Secrets. You can't keep those if you're connected all the time.
I mean, we're doing this over the phone, so...
I know. Like, this is a manual recording, you know? But it's going to go on the internet.
Kind of.
Yeah.
Kind of analog.
Yeah, like, even just the last couple of weeks, like, necessitated me kind of going to places. Like, top down, I went to John's house. I was just like, man, this is just better. Yeah. But I don't know.
Yeah. Cool.
Like, yeah, something is kind of, there's just weird distancing that happens somehow through the internet. But anyway, what were you getting to? The YouTube channel recommendation?
Yeah.
Speaking of the internet, Paul loves the internet, and he's going to recommend a part of it.
I would probably plug, like, my brain in.
Really? I'm at a point where I'm like, I don't want to be classified as like a neo-Luddite, which is what they call the anti-terrorist group in there. But like, I have nostalgia for pre-internet, pre-connected technology, and I'm kind of just going back to that a little bit more lately. Just kind of looking back. I'm like, I'm going to hook up my VCR and watch some tape.
You are living by a lot of pawn shops, so you can do that very easily.
So easily. Like, I'm buying stacks of stuff again, and it's just like, this is dumb, but I love it. And also, like, here's the thing. Maybe we're just in a transition stage or something where, like, eventually the internet will have all of the stuff. But for the time being, Netflix doesn't have, like, all the special features, all the weird, like, commentary tracks and dumb stuff that no one cares about. So it's just like, yeah, I want to see the alternate ending to Joyride. 29 minutes, that's a whole new movie. Back to the box like that. But yeah. Secrets. Yeah. It's like physical media secrets that I'm going to go find. Can't wait. But anyway, YouTube.
You should take a camera with you while you do those.
But like an old film camera.
I used to do this thing for a while when I was writing stuff a bit more, and it was just kind of like almost like a weird tweet or something, but with like a format.
Mm-hmm.
and it was called dumpster diving. And it would just be like on a payday, I would go to like an EB Games or a Future Shop, go to their like $1 games bin, and just like pick out dumb shit and then review it after playing it for a few hours.
Like, hey, is Turning Point Fall of Liberty worth a look? Who knows, Paul?
Right, exactly. I never did get that one because when that was still like the hot thing when I was around that time.
Oh, okay. Okay.
This was a while back. In fact, I'm gonna quickly look it up while I'm filling.
Like what was the last review you did? It was just like
I know for specifically the last one
like
that
Nano Breaker.
Back.
Yeah.
No, it was Vampire Rain, and I was so angry.
That was a video game. Yep.
Yeah, I was.
Wasn't there like another one, or it's like Vampire Rain Altered Species or something?
Yep, you're right. There was.
Nice.
Yeah, so that was a thing for a while.
Yeah.
And anyways, what I was getting at is that you should do the same thing with the camera, just like dumpster dive and go into the pawn shop with Nathan and just like, let's see what we could find today. It's basically like Storage Wars, only you're paying money and probably going to get arrested for bringing a camera in a pawn shop or something.
Yeah, like I can just report my findings post-expedition. I don't need to like...
That's not as fun because then people aren't discovering it with you.
I guess, but I don't know. Like
garage sales are the way to go for that then.
Like the Garrett Hunter store cast, like I've never done that. That just looks... I would be so awkward in this. I'm already awkward in stores. Like if I'm in a store... Like, I have that thing where, like, if I'm in a store for too long, I have to buy something. Because I've just been wasting their time.
That's a terrible thing to have.
I know. Tell me about it. But fortunately, I usually find something that I genuinely want. But if I don't, I get in this weird panic state and kind of have to wait until someone else is around, and then I just leave. It's a weird feeling. Wow. But Canadian guilt, I don't know.
Do you want to hear some of the dumpster dived things I got?
Like, yeah, sure. Hit me with some games.
Okay, first one was Dragon Ball Z Burst Limit.
Awesome.
Second was Bullet Witch.
I was kind of curious about Bullet Witch for a while, but yeah.
Oh, right. Okay, so the format was like year released, price paid, time spent, expected rating, like a kind of like just by what I had heard or whatever. And then overall rating afterwards, and then a value for price.
Because, like, I guess that is kind of a valuable metric because when a lot of big publications are reviewing games, they're assuming you're paying $60. So, like, for example, pretty much every review I remember of Wolverine Origins was like, that's pretty sweet. I don't know if it's worth $60, though, 3 out of 5. Whereas now it's like, oh, dude, that's a 4 out of 5 easy. Like, that's a fun-ass game, and it's like $12. So go get it. So, yeah.
I'll just click on one of these randomly, and I'll quickly give you an idea. Okay, so dumpster diving for Ninja Blade.
I have Ninja Blade.
Year release 2009. Price paid $4.99. Time spent 4 hours. Expected rating 6 out of 10. Overall rating 6 out of 10. Value for price A. Comments. I hope you like QuickTime events and ninjas because both are rampant in this game. Story is stupid, character designs are laughable, but the game plays well, looks good, and can hold your attention well enough. Definitely worth the price I paid.
All right. $5 is enough. Like
that was basically like, I don't know why I stopped doing that. Probably because it was just like the last two I did on the same day, and it was Perfect Dark Zero and Vampire Rain. And I didn't feel good about that. Although I did give Perfect Dark Zero, like, expected rating 3 out of 10, overall 6 out of 10, with a B plus value.
So it was better than you thought it would be.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, when I went into that game, I paid full price for it, and it was, like, expected value, like, it would be, like, expected rating 9 out of 10, actual, like, 2. Like, what are you doing? Like, 30 frames, like, weird, awkward, third-person cover. Like, I don't know. I thought that game was really terrible. But
okay, Vampire Rain. Price
paid
from
that context.
Price paid $199. Time spent 15 minutes. Expected rating 4 out of 10. Overall 2 out of 10. Value for price F. Comments. Think about everything you loved about Splinter Cell and Siphon Filter. Now take it all away and you get this piece of shit.
Wow.
Whole game seems pointless and just trying to hone in on whatever money could have been made by releasing another third-person shooter. Controls and writing is terrible, should be avoided at all costs. What a waste of $2
Great.
That was the last one.
Until now. Bring it back. Wanted. Weapons of Fate.
There actually is... Dude, I love that game. Whatever.
It was fun. It was
yes.
pretty good.
Yeah. No.
I played it all.
I've been considering doing it again, but everything's digital now, and it's just like, well, like, I paid for this game on a Humble Bundle for $1, so what are you doing buying it, like, at a store for $10?
It's like, oh, I screwed up. Sure.
The way that things work now are different.
Yeah.
They just don't work this way anymore.
Like, I can go to the disc exchange and buy some video games, but then I'm filling up my house with video games. And some people don't understand that.
For 99 cents.
Yeah.
Or less. I could buy it for, like, what's basically free.
Mm-hmm.
Because it came with this other game in a bundle that I actually wanted.
I think I'm kind of just realizing, like, throughout, like, childhood and whatever, I've always kind of liked collecting things.
Yeah.
You know? Like, it's just like, I'm going to buy all the James Bond books. Are you going to read them? No. I want them, though.
They're going to sit on the shelf together, though.
Yeah, there's going to be a full set. It's going to be sweet. And, like, Godzilla, I'm going to get all those and stuff. And now it's just like, oh, physical media isn't a thing. And there's nothing satisfying about having all of the Fear games just on a list on Steam. Like, that's not a thing. Like, it's not real.
I disagree. I like the Steam list because it keeps everything alphabetically ordered in a nice list, and I can just click on something and I have it.
Sure,
I don't have to.
Like, I can play it, but I don't feel like I own it. Like, it's the total whatever.
Well, you don't. Like,
I know.
I'm not saying that, like, for collector, quote unquote, or whatever, Steam isn't a thing.
No, it's great for playing video games, but if you have very little interest in playing video games and a ton of interest in owning video games, Steam is a waste of time.
You're just
I know,
John.
Dude. I have like a Final Fantasy shelf that is for Final Fantasy games. I had like a big setup of all my Zelda games. Like, I'm gonna get all of them. I'm gonna have them all here. And it's like, if you buy, like, say you bought Link Between Worlds digitally.
I did. I buy all my games digitally now.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I can't go down that path. I was one of those guys for a while. I'm just like, no, digital future, it's gonna be sweet. We're not gonna need all these shelves. And it's just like, I like all the shelves. They're my favorite thing. Having stuff on shelves is the best.
Until you move, though.
No, dude, that's my favorite stuff to pack and unpack. Like, it's like, I gotta unpack this box full of bowls. That sucks. What a boring thing.
Well, yeah, of course that sucks. But the thing with the bowls is that you use them.
Yeah, but I don't know. I don't have a pride of ownership over, like, a cup or something.
Well, of course you don't have pride of ownership over a bowl.
Yeah, but it's more useful.
Then you would be a crazy spinster that goes to the pawn shop for bowls.
But I don't know. I like having a sick collection, dude. And now that, like, the value of a sick collection is in question, I'm, like, having to put a stake in something and just be like, no, physical ownership. Rad.
But, I mean, if you look at it from the other way, it's a gross consumerist mindset that was just drilled into you from all the Saturday morning commercials for the toys. Like, it's just like, no, I have to have the whole set. Why? I'm not going to play any of them. Like, they're just as good to me as up in the cloud, and then when I wanted to actually play with it, I can play with it and then put it away forever.
Well, it's for toys and stuff, but...
No, I'm talking about anything. They're, like, it's just...
Well, but I guess all of it necessitates...
to own it, though.
It's like all of it necessitates me continuing to own the internet, though. Or, like, go to certain websites or whatever. Like, you know, to have a meaningful online library, you need to be online. That's the catch, right?
You mean an online library, though?
Well, I mean, like, you know, Netflix...
Like for Steam?
Sure, or Steam.
Okay.
I mean, you could go offline for months at a time, right?
Yeah, sure. Okay, but, like, I'm sorry, I just didn't understand what you meant. Continue with your point. I get it now.
Well, I guess it's just, like, I don't know. It's kind of like one of those things where it's just like, it's an engine that constantly lures you back in. Like the same way it's like you can't own a car without buying gas. Like it's just an infinite sink of resources. But it's like, oh, it's convenient. I get to drive around whenever I want. But the cost is there. You just kind of get to the point where you don't think about it anymore. Where it's just like, oh, well, no, it's so cool, man. The internet, like, I can just buy stuff. I can just get stuff from there. You know, I'm going to get my music from iTunes. But then it's just like, you don't actually own that, though. Like, if they go away or, like, you're in flux and you don't have online, you can't listen to that album anymore.
Well, no, but if you buy a CD, you own just a physical piece of something that this other thing is on.
Yeah,
so
but you
like,
can
if that
still
CD
play
breaks,
it back.
you have to rebuy it.
Sure, yeah, exactly. But, like,
you don't own the music. You never own anything in life.
Like,
ever.
I don't, like, own it for me to do whatever I want with it, but it's like, well, actually, no, it's whatever. You can do whatever you want with physical media. I can rip stuff out of movies and make dumb shit with it. And it's fine as long as I don't go out there saying, I did this, I'm going to make money. Like, it's just...
You can do that with digital media as well. You can do it with, like, you can do that stuff as well.
I guess
it just
like,
depends.
The sharing kind of culture, though, it's like, well, what's the point if you're not going to post on YouTube or Vimeo or something? You know?
No, that sounds like a personal thing. I don't think people are forcing people to do that, are they? That's kind of creepy if that's happening. It's
well,
like,
no, I mean, it's like, why would you spend time, like hours of your time editing together something if you're not going to do something with it?
Like, what do you mean?
Well, I just mean, like, you like, say you stumble across some dumbass, like, video on YouTube that's just, like, a clip from a movie or just, like, some weird remix of, like, Christian Bale yelling. Like, that's just derivative stuff, but it's still on the internet. Like, I don't know why.
I thought you were making a different point than I think you are now. I'm a little confused. I'm sorry.
I'm confused, too. I'm just saying it out loud. I'm sorry.
Oh.
Wasting your time.
Okay.
I'm not sure how I feel about it. I'm realizing I have this collector lust, and it's coming back, and I don't think it was being satiated for a while via, like, the new norms of purchasing stuff. So, yeah, like, it's like, oh, I got this cool music library. It's like, no, you kind of don't, actually. It's kind of the realization I'm coming to now. So, vinyls, that's what's next. Anyway.
Well, I mean, like, CDs and vinyl, the music was, like, the music was just whatever, because you could, like, rip it to your computer or, like, put it on a tape or whatever. What I liked was the album art. I always loved the album art and the inserts and stuff with that stuff. So
no, that's definitely a sweet bonus as well. Sorry, I guess I'm also just thinking now, like, with every generational shift, there's always stuff that gets left behind. You know, like, it's like, oh, well, everything went to DVD except some stuff. There's some weird ass tapes out there. Like, there's a documentary actually coming out soon about people who are, like, avid tape collectors that I'm really curious about. But, like, you know, same thing. It's like, everything's a Blu-ray route. No, it's not. Like, there's a lot of stuff on DVD that didn't ever get the bump again, and then there's, like, features to that. And then it's just like digital. It's like, seems like there's even less stuff makes the digital cut of just, like, you know, like, I'll search my streaming services and stuff, and it's just like, why would you ever want to watch that movie? And she's like, I want to. Fuck you. I'm going to watch it. Like, Melanie Griffith is going to fight crime, and James Gandolfini is in it. Like, I want to see that movie.
But see,
what's it called? Strangers.
With this, it's kind of an... you can kind of make an argument against what you were kind of grumbling about just a little bit ago about this, like, social media culture, where it's like, you could be that person that puts it up on something for someone. So technology is making it so you don't just need the companies anymore to put stuff out there on, like, digital copy. There are people that can do it as well. It's kind of like a weird internet resistance. It's like, well, you want us to watch, like, Real Steel, but I'm going to watch, I don't know, fucking Hackers. I don't know.
Sure.
Some random thing.
No, you're right. Like, once you get into torrenting, it's all different. I guess it's just like, I'm trying to play by the rules, but then realizing, like,
Well, the people that make the rules are the shit.
I guess so, yeah. Like, they just don't, they want me to watch, like, 3 of 30 movies this one director made, because they're the big hits or whatever. And I'm just like, no, I want to know where this came from. Like, what is this movie like?
I'm not arguing against, like, the collector mindset at all.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is that for what I like to do now is just efficiency and cleanliness in my media habits, where it's like, this is in alphabetical order or whatever. I just have to click here and I'm listening to my music. I just have to click here and I'm playing my game. I just have to click here and I'm watching my YouTube channel, like people. I like the efficiency. But if you want to collect, all you have to do is go to a pawn shop. Everything there is like $5, and you will have a collection, and you will have that satisfaction.
No, like, I'm just thinking now, like, you're just saying, like, orderly cleanliness or whatever, whereas I have this, like, romanticized notion of just, like, the wizard's den with, like, piles of books with, like, a candle on it and shit, like, just, like, papers all over the desk and stuff. Like, that stuff's rad to me. It's just, like, what's going on here?
I would rather just have that all on a tablet or Kobo in a list.
Yeah, that's
and then I can...
gross. It's so clean and, like, just stripped out. I don't know. It has no character, you know? Like, it has no must. You can't smell it.
Why would you, though?
Because the book smells like musky old book. It's awesome.
But, like, what does that matter? If I'm not reading a book, I don't need to fucking see it sitting there.
The act of turning a page has, like, it's like a little reward in and of itself.
I do agree with you that it's like, I actually want to read this book. There is something there about turning the pages. What I'm getting at is that I don't need to see a shelf full of books that I will never read. Because if it's not something I need now, I no longer fucking care. It doesn't exist in my life. It's not there.
Okay.
When I do need it, it's right here in front of me on this little thing, and I just have to touch it with my finger, and it's right in front of me. That's what
like, that kind of, like, in the now, that's a very logical kind of thing. But, like, I've been kind of thinking through, like, of just, like, am I, like, actually losing interest in this stuff, or am I just getting distracted with other nonsense? Like, I've kind of been trying to think of, like, setting a media, like, not even a media goal, but just kind of locking down a bit on, like, new things I'm just buying into for no reason, instead of just, like, actually perusing my shelves and being like, wait a minute, I did always want to read this, and it's right here. Like, I'm going to read it.
Sure.
Or, like, I'm going to watch this, you know, like, that kind of thing. Of just, like, you know, actually trying to progress through the things that Nathan over the 2+ decades has decided to bring into his life. Like, it's like, why did I do that? If it's, you know, and once I've, maybe some of the stuff I'll be like, man, this book does suck, and then I'll get rid of it. You know, like, I'll know to do that. Or, like, I'm going to rewatch this movie. Wow, what a waste of time. And then just, like, trade it in or something. You know, like, but I need to kind of re-examine my stuff. And maybe it's just a moving thing of just seeing all my stuff again, and I'll lose interest in it again once it's settled in another shelf or basement corner. But at the moment, it's on my mind. So
that's totally fair. And, like, for the revisiting thing, that's the only part in my mind where a collection and, like, having it out is the better way to do it. Because when I look at my Steam list, it's great because it's like, Watch Dogs is there. I know that's the thing I'm playing right now. It's available right now. Why the fuck do I have Arma 2? I am never going to play that. So, like I have Arma 2 because I was curious about DayZ when that was hot. No, not even. That was part of a pack at, like, Humble or something. So I just had it. And then I got DayZ afterwards because it was just, like, man. Like, so you almost wish you could just kind of, like, flag games, just, like, don't actually care, and just kind of put it away. Well, what I'm getting at is when, like, I had my shelves with my movies and stuff, if I was bored one night and, like, I just wanted to see what I could do, I would look at that shelf and then grab something. Because there was a reason at some point in time that this is now sitting right here. There was never a reason why Arcania Gothic 4 should be here, except for somebody said you should have this because you're buying something. Like, there's no sense of, or like I have Risen 2. There's no sense of discovery when, like, people just shove shit at you, which they do very well nowadays digitally, and that they couldn't ever do. Nobody could force you to buy anything back, like, when you would buy physical media. So that sense of, like, there's a reason why this is here. I should revisit that. That's there. Whereas digitally is like, no, you just get all this stuff, and you're like, oh, I can't even tell you no. Okay, whatever.
Yeah, so, like, at some point there was a choice where you made this happen. Like, I'm like, you know what, $4, I'll buy The Negotiator and watch it again. Mm-hmm. Like, I made that happen. Whereas if it's just like, I haven't played Dead Space 3, I'll buy this bundle, and now I own, like, Medal of Honor. It's just like, everything's valueless and just kind of piled together. I guess it's more akin to, like, when you're buying movies, and it's like I guess recently at some of these pawn shops and stuff, it's like 10 for, if you buy 10, you get all of them.
They hurt because I catalog my movies in an Excel sheet. Mm-hmm. So it's like, what the fuck do I put this 100 movie? There's like one I have that's like 50 like horror movies or whatever. It's in a white box. Yeah. And it's
those. I was actually getting at like just 10 for like $1 each. So you start making a lot of bad decisions to fill the 10. But yeah, you're right. The weird like 12 movies on.
But the problem is on those like 50 things or whatever, they have some real old gems on there. So like, yeah, I want this set. How am I cataloging this?
Yeah. Oh. Like, am I saying I own each individual movie on here, or do I just hope that this weird collection exists in this database or something?
Oh, and what else is annoying is when they have like those 4 movies on one disc thing, and the like cover of the DVD case is just like split in like quadrants, and there's like different
4 posters.
Oh my fucking god! Holy shit! Whoever started doing that should be just executed. They are the worst.
Like for visual design standpoint.
No, from the fact that there's 4 fucking movies on here, and I just wanted one. Like okay. Now you're bringing out those,
sometimes it works out, though. Because, like, with Batman and Matrix specifically, those are exactly how passionate I am about those franchises.
If we're going to talk about collector stuff, I am, or was, whatever, when I was buying movies more, the type of person that would just be like, oh, Batman, I can't buy this pack sort of thing. I will buy them all separately. And I did. So they all have a slot on the shelf. Sort of thing. Like,
so 4 times the space.
I can't stand, like, if you pull something off a shelf, it's like, yeah, there's like 4 things in here. No, they each have to have their space so that when I'm looking at the spine, it's easily displayed which one is which, and I can grab it, and I know that this is just the only thing here. Like, this is my version of the Steam library, where it's not just like, yeah, you got Alien Breed 2, 3, and Impact all on this one, like, file. They don't do that. That's why I like the Steam library, because it's like, no, they're each separated.
Yeah, okay. Well, like, I guess, again, it's just like a pride of ownership thing.
No, I don't know. It's weird. I have all the Harry Potters, and I haven't seen any of them, so...
Maybe just bring up Steam or whatever, like, the way Telltale used to do it versus the way they do it now. Mm-hmm. Like, we're Walking Dead Season 2 is, like, its own thing. Where if you go back far enough, it's like, Sam and Max, each episode is like listed, and she's like, that's just a waste of space.
It is.
Like, what are you doing?
For that, it is, because that whole series of those 5 or whatever is one game. Let's be honest.
Yeah, so just kind of like make a wrapper for it and just say Season 1, and that is now that. I don't know why each has a separate code.
That's like if there are a few things that have done this. I can't think of any off the top of my head, but like TV show seasons are just like episodes 1 to 5 or whatever, and you're just like, this is the worst right here, right now. So, yeah, I don't know.
Like, why split? Or like if you bought them from the video store, like pre-owned or something?
Yeah, I don't know. It was weird how they would sell.
Like, why would they be individually packaged? But, okay.
No, like they were individually cased. Like, instead of like on one DVD disc having like 10 episodes, it would be like 1 to 4. Because this way they could... This is an anime thing, I think. So they could sell more, like, not digital, they could sell more copies for more money. It's gross. Oh,
no, yeah, like, I think the Persona animated series does that, and it's just like, this is like $50 to buy 2, like, no, I don't
think
know.
A lot of animes do that. It's really gross. Anyways, should we, I have a few questions from Twitter.
Oh, okay.
Because... I didn't know.
What happened to the YouTube channel? Was there one?
Oh, yeah, YouTube channel is Carcinogen, Carcinogen. He does Resident Evil speedruns, and I might be talking to him for a podcast. But that's just, like, I like that dude, so. And I hope I do a podcast with him, because it will literally just be 2 hours of, like, geeking over Resident Evil. That's all it will be. So.
Okay.
And specifically, like, Resident Evil 1 and 2. Just talking about dumb inside baseball shit. So,
yeah,
that might happen. But do you have a YouTube? I mean, you haven't been watching anything, so, on YouTube.
Man, Mega 64, they're real cool. Yeah, I don't really
like, I don't know how many times we can call it the same thing. I think that kind of goes against it, but, like, everybody that listens to us should be listening. Like, you shouldn't even be listening to any other podcast I recommend. It should be Mega 64, honestly.
Oh, okay.
Because I know people started listening to, like, Vent Chat and stuff. It's like, yeah, those dudes are funny, but they're nothing compared to Mega 64. That's all I have to say.
Oh, brilliant. Okay, cool.
Well, it's true. Or is there anything else you need to say?
That's all I got. Let's go.
Okay. So I didn't know how we would be doing this week, so I just basically said voicemails will not be happening. Just send, like, text questions through Twitter or whatever. So, Meow sent 3 or 4 right now, so we'll just go through them quickly, and then I think Marshmallow sent one as well. Okay. I know Paul probably graduated in the 80s, and Nathan probably in the 50s. What? The 80s? Okay, I know Paul probably graduated in the 80s, and Nathan probably in the 50s. How was graduation time for you guys? Was it fun? I graduated in 2004, so not even close to 80s.
2005, I think.
And no, it wasn't fun. There was tests. There was people pressuring me, like, to, like, just school pressures coming at, like, well, what are you going to do with the rest of your life sort of bullshit. Ceremonies and dressing up with a bunch of classmates for a few hours of just, like, listening to people talk. It's terrible. It wasn't a great time for me. No, it sucked. It was just
I kind of enjoyed it, but like, yeah, it's kind of weird parties.
Unless she means like after, because when it was done, then yeah, like after the last ceremony and like the last test and stuff, that feeling of like it's weird that it's Monday and I'm not waking up for school.
There was kind of this like gradual like realization that it's like, oh yeah, I'm probably actually really not going to see a lot of these people ever again. Like, that took a while to actually take hold of just, like, they're not your social circle anymore. They're just not going to be. Yeah. That won't work logistically. So, don't worry about it.
I think I had a weird, like, opposite thing where my social circle didn't go to my school. So, like, they were from other schools. So, we hung out already without, like, seeing each other every day, ever. So it was just like, no, my social circle is not changing at all. Like, I came to this school for 2 or 3 years just for high school. I barely know people, and the people I do know are still kind of weird. I'm done. Like, I'm just leaving now.
Okay.
Yeah, so...
Whereas, yeah, school was kind of a big source of that for me, and it went away, so...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then you became lonely. So lonely.
Yeah, and just, oh my God. Like, thinking back, like... just some really weird, like, prolonged email exchanges with, like, classmates and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, that dragged on way past the point where I should have stopped sending messages because they stopped caring and I didn't clue in yet, kind of thing.
This is a good
point.
Like,
that kind of stuff.
This is a good point to bring up, that I'm so glad that when we were in high school and, like, finishing up, that, like, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube weren't as big as they are. Like, I would probably have killed myself.
Like, just weird, overly attached kind of problems could have totally happened more so with that kind of stuff. Because, yeah, like, it was maybe a full year after, or like 6 months or something at least, before Facebook blew up. So I added a bunch of my high school people to it. But
I did too. And then, like, I never talked to them and it felt awkward, so I deleted that account completely.
Whereas like, I still have them all kind of on there, but we just never talk ever.
Right.
So it is kind of weird, but I mean, if I ever get news of the reunion that's probably due soon. Maybe that's a way to hear about it. Would you go to one? Did you? Or 10 years? That's this year.
Mine is this year.
Are you gonna go?
I think. No, fuck no. Like I said, I went there for 3 years and made like 3 actual friends. Like, there's no reason, and I know for a fact they wouldn't go. So there's no point.
Whereas I'm just like this weird curiosity thing. I guess my class was way smaller than the average too, because it was a private school.
See, that's how I think I would have felt if I kept going to school in Airdrie at my school, because we had all been in the same school and classes and stuff, because it was the only Christian, I think, school. Well, besides like your private school or whatever you went to, sort of thing.
Yeah.
Ours was the only like Catholic school. So like when you go from this Catholic school, it automatically forces you to go to this one, and then you graduate. And so like we all knew each other from like grade 4, sort of thing. So it would have been that sort of thing. But
yeah.
Sorry, just a sec. So yeah, it was just like if I kept going to that school, I would have probably felt the same way. Whereas I had to let all of that go pretty quickly when I changed schools completely. And then I think I like that experience better, starting off in like when you're already faux adult, like you think you're an adult, but you're really just like an 18-year-old scumbag or something. And it's just like, well, I can make some decisions about who I talk to and stuff now because nobody here knows me. I'm a totally different person. That was kind of great. I really enjoyed it.
Okay. Whereas, I was with the same group for like a whole bunch of times. So, yeah, different.
And that social circle is weird when you're with people a long time, because then it's like, did you hear this person slept with this person? And you're just like, I've known that kid since like grade 3. Like, that's weird because
in a Christian school scenario, it's more just like, they got married? Weird. They were classmates for like 8 years.
They got married? You know why they got married? Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So
because we don't believe in sex.
Yep. Not unless rings are involved.
I can't remember what I wrote it on. I wrote something about sex on something and just got like detention, and like my parents called. It was a big deal. And it's like my mom apparently just was like, what the fuck is wrong with you people? Like, it's a regular fucking life thing. And like, instead of teaching kids about it, you just like berate them to the point where like she flipped out. It was great.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah, it creates a weird kind of mentality about it. Let me tell you.
Yeah? Are you having issues?
Well, no, but like it's kind of like such a slow awakening process to like feeling not totally ashamed about everything.
Yeah, so, there's that, and also like you went to church. You said obviously.
Yeah.
I did too, obviously, and I was having this discussion with Aaron a few times, like before, where I still remember like all the weird like chant and like recalls and stuff like that from church. They're just ingrained in my memory, and that is fucking terrifying. I can't like they're just there. It's not like I go reciting them and like dream about them, but if somebody was like, the Lord be with you and also with you, thanks be to God, blah blah, like there's just all these things in my mind,
like hard-coded repetition, ingrained things that are just part of you now that you didn't really
suffered on
elect to put there.
I died, and he was buried. He's ascended into the dead. On the third day he rose again. He
ascended
to heaven and was seated at the right hand of the Father. He will come again to judge the living and the dead. I believe in Jesus, or I believe in God, Jesus Christ, the Holy Spirit, or something. Yeah, it's
like our school kind of didn't have like the callbacks or whatever, like the reading exchange kind of thing, but it was more like they had monthly Bible verses that they just wanted you to memorize, like huge like chapters.
Yeah.
Because it's just like, dude, back in the day, like, you know, practicing rabbis would memorize huge passages of the Torah, and you're just like, okay, like, why? I mean, there was also the Bronze Age, like nothing was going on. Like, I don't know, snarky current Nathan. But back then it was just like, okay, I gotta get this
I just remembered the end of that was, I believe in the Holy Spirit, the Holy Catholic Church, the communion of saints, the forgiveness of sins, the resurrection of the body, and life everlasting. Amen.
Yeah. Like, why do you know that? What are you going to do with that?
Right. Not only that, but, like, the fact that, like, I haven't been to church I think I stopped going when I was 15. I haven't been to church in 13 years. And that is still all in my head.
Yeah.
Like, I can remember. It's not even that I remember it. It's just there. It's like in a memory bank or something. Like when you go to Wikipedia and look up stuff on snails or something, it's just there. It's not remembering that somebody told it about snails. It's just information. That is my brain with this weird shit.
Yeah.
Indoctrination.
Yep. Anyway, I guess, so that's how we feel about graduation.
Right.
Next question.
Okay. I'm excited for season 2 of Space Dandy on Independence Day weekend. Any video games you excited for? How is Tomodachi? We kind of went into Tomodachi. It's great with some Nintendo-like flaws in not understanding their audience and what they like to do with video games. But games...
Well, maybe. Except weird, crazy people that like robot islands they control.
No, see, that's the good part. What they don't understand is how people like to play video games with their friends or social, like, systems or whatever. They're very much like...
Oh, yeah. Okay.
That's what I'm
sorry, I'm, like, actually realizing it's like, oh, yeah, playing video games with friends, right? People do that. Interesting.
Yeah. I mean...
I like single-player everything all the time,
well, see, the reason you like single-player is because after you graduated, you no longer had people to talk to.
Exactly. No, maybe, but also I never had, like a brother or something to play with. Like, sister was there.
Yeah.
But she was significantly younger. And for a long time, that wasn't, like, a thing that could happen. So
that actually kind of brings up an interesting question, because I grew up with brothers. So it was just kind of like, I'm playing Mario Kart, he would sit down and, like, play with me or something. Or, like, he would watch me play Doom. Like, and we would, like, or, like, Mega Man, we would pass the controller back and forth or something. That was just a thing.
Yeah.
What was it like with the girl during the time before there was, like, quote-unquote girl gamers, where it's like, the internet opened up this idea that no, girls actually do play video games, where in our small social circles in Airdrie at the time, that was, I wouldn't even say uncommon, never. Like, they just didn't. It was weird in my school.
I mean, it was pretty infrequent. Like, it'd be like occasional Mario Kart or something we would play. But, like, by the time I was, like, man, like, I would have been, like, 10 and she's, like, 5. So,
right.
But I've been playing since I was like 4. Right. So at a point, I'm just like, no, video games are a thing I do by myself, and like it's just like I want to play.
So it was.
I don't want
totally
you to play.
You then.
It was totally me.
Okay.
And like whenever I'm at a friend's house or something, it's just like I want to be playing, like, you know, just kind of sitting on the couch, just kind of watching someone play is nails on chalkboard.
Really?
For me. Yeah.
That's so weird, because for me, it was very much like a bunch of us would get together and we would just sit and chat while somebody played, and then they would pass a controller. Like, it was very social. Maybe that's why stuff like MMOs was just like, yeah, no, this makes sense. Like, why would I play this game alone when I could play with 40 other people to do this thing?
Whereas, I'm the guy trying to get through as much of it as I can by myself, and then by the time it's like, you got to join parties, it's like, I got to unsubscribe. Bye.
I mean, like, there are solo players in MMOs, but I don't know how they have an existence because the questing is so boring in those games.
Yeah. I put in my month in that one, like in WoW specifically, but man, RuneScape, those different times.
And Counter-Strike. Like, you have your glimpses of normal gamer in you.
Right, but it, like, not team, like, as best I could. Like, I would just like to lone wolf it all the time.
Oh, really?
So I was not a good team player, probably. Like, I don't like chatting at all.
Wow. That's a great thing we decided to do Game Dudes then. That is fantastic. It's like, I don't like playing with people at all. It's like, oh, okay, so, yeah, this is good.
Do co-op games, and I'll be angry. Yeah. Well, there you go. Good thing that, like, you know, I'm playing Silent Hill. That's fine. If Paul was playing Silent Hill, I don't know.
I'd
be playing
through it quicker. That's for sure.
Oh, you're probably right.
Well, I mean, because I played it before. Like, obviously, I know, like, some of the basic stuff of where to go. But,
yeah.
I didn't mean it as a slight at, like, skills or something.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway. Video games I'm excited for. I haven't been watching E3. What's that game again? Evil Within? Sure. Let's go with that. Or that.
Okay, like the Shinji Mikami thing? Okay.
And what's that, like, Deep Down? Or that ripoff of, like, Dark Souls?
Demon Souls?
Yeah.
Yeah, that Capcom thing. I don't know. It's a PlayStation 4 Capcom thing. It's got knights in it and stuff.
I'm looking forward to it. I don't have a PlayStation 4 and will probably not buy one just for that game. But if I have it when that comes out, yeah, I'll pick it up.
I have it on good authority that Grand Theft Auto 5 is really good.
Okay.
So I'll probably be buying that when it comes to the PC.
Well, to the only console.
Yeah, once it really comes out.
Right.
Like it's finally done in beta and everything.
Such a douchey thing to say. There's actually a question about that later on, but yeah.
In terms of like hot new stuff, people are kind of announcing, like, I mean, I don't know. Okay, so Mario Maker is in theory cool. However,
what is it?
Mario 1 mechanics.
I don't know what it is.
It's like it's make your own Mario levels the thing for Wii U, like on the gamepad or whatever. You're like designing levels and stuff.
Oh, so it's Little Big Planet.
Little Big Planet, but with Mario mechanics. However, which good platforming.
Yeah,
instead of
for
broken ass garbage.
Fuck. Little Big Planet had so many things about it that were so good. The actual playing of the game was definitely the worst thing, though. Yeah.
Like, just no weight to it or something. It just felt weird. I didn't ever like it.
Weird momentum and, like, movement in the air and just floaty as fuck. I don't know.
Floaty, yeah. It's just like, hey, we got these charming sack dudes and, like, all this fun music. And you're just like, that doesn't matter at all. Yeah. Your fundamentals are broken.
I actually had a discussion with somebody about, like, story versus mechanics or something. But, yeah.
Oh man, like that Media Molecule like swept so many award shows and stuff. It's just like, I don't understand who is giving these out. Whoever's giving these out doesn't play video games at all. They run institutions or something.
They run
Facebook.
They are like, yeah, they run social media because that's what Little Big Planet did fantastically for a video game. The social features.
Yeah, share stuff. It's like, what if it's all junk? Doesn't matter. Share it. Okay, bye. I'm out. They announced a third one, like, whatever.
If
Tearaway did terrible, yeah.
If that type of stuff
making games.
is what Nintendo could do with their stuff, they would be so far ahead of the game from how fucking, like, back assward they are.
Yeah.
Right now.
But, okay, I mean, even with, like, hey, Nintendo's finally making Little Big Planet, I'm pretty sure it's Mario Brothers 1 kind of stuff. Based on, like, the few things I've seen. So they've already, like, the third one's the good one. Like, you know, like, I mean, I know two.
Well,
but
if that's the case,
not what
there's been a Mario Maker out for years. It's called Flash. Download it and weird. Okay.
I know, but making it easy and, like fun.
Yeah.
You know, not, like, super tech demanding. So, whatever. That could conceivably be a neat thing.
Sure.
But like, okay, here's this weird gulf between me and other people.
Yeah.
Grim Fandango just got announced as being ported to Vita and like PlayStation 4 or something.
Okay.
And I love Grim Fandango. But I don't know, like, that's not a thing that inherently excites me because, like, it's kind of an old 3D game, like.
Yeah.
In theory, they hopefully are touching up the art and stuff a lot, but I'm not sure, like, a console is the best place to play something like that anyway. Like, I don't know. You do have direct control over Manny, so maybe just analog stick stuff might be okay, but that's not something that immediately makes me excited. Like, it's just kind of, I already own that. Like, that's cool, but support, like, it's you know.
Yeah.
I guess people are like, you know, hey, this game's finally getting some more attention again or something, but
this kind of brings up something with me that's been annoying me lately. So, when a video game has been out for, let's spitball and say 2 years, because why not? And then all of a sudden it becomes released on a console as like an indie game sort of thing. And then it starts getting all the attention when it's like, I played that like 2 years ago and tried telling people it was great. And now there are like videos on the internet from people with millions of people. And they're like, oh, wow, this game's amazing. Like, I can't believe this came out. It's like, no, like it's been out forever. You are.
Like, what are you?
The game I'm talking about is Aben Hawkins and the 1001 Spikes.
Oh wow, yeah.
Because
like, is that getting hot buzz right now?
Yeah, because it's out on Wii, it's out on 3DS, Xbox One, Steam. It's out on everything now. Before it was just Xbox indie games for $1, and now it's $10.
Yeah,
it's the same game. That is
kind of fucked up.
Yeah,
I mean, I know Jonathan Blow's been hyped about that too, but also like 18 months ago or something.
And like how egotistical and like pretentious he is, it must be driving him crazy. Right? Like it has to be.
Yeah.
Because, like
man.
If it's annoying me and I was just like kind of like, yeah, this is good, and like told a few people about it, but people are like, whatever. Like he must be like, I fucking told you, like screaming at people.
Although, like, he's still waiting for the Starseed Pilgrim train to pull into the station or whatever.
I don't see it.
I don't get it. I've been playing video games since I was 4. You're high on the space dust. I don't get it. It's not fun. Like, it's not good.
I honestly think he's reading.
I tried like for 3 hours. Like, I don't.
Like,
yeah.
For a game design standpoint, maybe it's absolutely brilliant. It's like, oh, the coding here must have been great, or like, I don't know. But from like
maybe he's seen beyond the veil in some way, but just like as a thing to play,
it's not fun. It's terrible.
It's not. Yeah. Whatever. Yeah, but okay, Aben Hawkins. That's weird. That does seem to happen though on occasion, and I don't. Again, if you're not online, then you don't know when the trend hits. You just know it was cool, and it doesn't bother you.
Oh, so many things bother me.
Why? Like, who posted about it? Like, what do you mean?
There are so many people, but I mean, there isn't a specific one. It's just the fact that it's like people are like talking about this on Twitter and stuff. Like, I don't know. There's just something annoying where it's like, why are you just discovering this now? Like, I know it's egotistical and pretentious. I'm basically Jonathan Blow, but like.
It's like, I discovered this years ago and no one cared.
Not even like
why
I did it. It's that it was here. Stop treating it like it wasn't. Like, fucking learn something. Open up a web page or a book or something. Learn about the past before you make a comment, you fucking idiot.
I think it's where that stuff bothers me is when like people in paid positions who should be in the know are learning of things after I know about it, then I feel I deserve their paycheck, and I get jealous and angry.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with. There have been some people that have done videos on Aben Hawkins, and they're just like, this game like came out a while ago, or like on indie games, and it was great back then. They did like that stuff, totally fine. If they just say that one sentence, I'm like, okay, you're legit. Like, that's fine. That's all you had to say. When there are people that are just like, oh, I can't believe this new thing that came out. It's not fucking new. It's not. It's so old.
And like, that sounds so hipster, but it's just like, no, it actually is. Like, know your stuff before you are trumpeting it or whatever.
That's
like,
why I understand hipsters.
Do your research.
Though. Like, I do understand where they're coming from, but at the same time, I don't feel I'm part of the masses as like would say like, oh, this is great or something if I didn't know that maybe it was. But like, I don't even like talking about songs on the radio that I like unless I like look it up and just make sure that this wasn't a 50s song that this band's doing now or something. I don't know, maybe
dude, like maybe like long tail or something. It's like 5 years from now, Default Dan gets polished up and comes out.
Actually,
and
you know what?
We get to be the biggest.
It did get bigger. You know why? Okay, like I never talked to you about this. The Game Grumps played it.
What?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
That was a while ago though, like months ago. I'm surprised I didn't say anything to you about that.
Sure, months ago, but not like year plus ago when we.
Oh, not like when we played the alpha of it.
Yeah.
But we actually got site traffic from that because like people were looking up Default Dan and they have us on their site.
Okay.
So like it's fine, but like no, that ties directly. That was another example, I guess, that I didn't even think of. But yeah, there's another one right there.
That's so weird. Like that is kind of discouraging. I'm just like, no, your tastes are actually pretty well tuned. Just something about the recipe isn't clicking right in terms of like big mainstream appeal, right?
No, it's not that. It's the fact that there aren't like enough people to spread like opinion. That's all.
Okay.
But yeah, I don't know.
Cult of influence or whatever.
What's that?
A cult of influence.
Yeah, and like they also did a video on like the last Tinker. I don't know. There's so many things. It's like I was playing alpha builds of this. I didn't do anything on it, and now like the biggest channel on YouTube's doing it. Ugh. That's a personal problem though. Like I could have done something about it when I was playing it like months ago. I could have. So
I guess I feel weird that like I don't want to ever feel obligated to do stuff like that.
I don't feel obligated. I just get angry after when I didn't, I guess.
Right. Hindsight. Anyway, okay, so that's the games we're looking forward to.
Yeah. So hope that helped. Okay. Yep. Is it wrong to not care about E3? I don't have a next-gen console unless you count 3DS. I don't count 3DS as next-gen. But, no, because I don't care about E3 either.
Yeah, welcome to the not caring about E3 club.
That sounded really sarcastic.
Dude.
The way you said it, I mean, did.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's fine.
I mean, I've been to 2 of those things, and so over it.
Oh man, this is just like the
smoking
this is you know how like
cigarette.
You know how 12 o'clock is the witching hour?
Yeah.
It's
the bitching hour.
2:03 a.m. The bitching hour. Pixel Response Podcast.
Whatever. I'm not trying to be. Wow.
I'll tell you why I don't care about E3 though. Like I'll explain myself a little bit. I do like the idea that there's like a venue for game announcements or something. I don't like that everybody seems to have an opinion on stuff they don't know anything about. Like, the people whose opinion on E3 announcements and stuff I care about are the people that have actually put their hands on a controller or keyboard and played the thing. Like a build of it. I don't care what Twitter has to say about, Microsoft had the best conference. Who gives a fuck? They have more money than God. Like, of course they had the best conference. Of course Nintendo had a great conference. They're the biggest name in gaming ever. Of course Sony has great games lined up because they have like good developers in their pocket or something.
These are businesses or whatever. Yeah. I guess. Okay, I'll let you finish your thought.
No, I'm sorry. Just go, because my thing is basically like, shut the fuck up unless you've actually played it unless you have an opinion you formed and not just fed to you by people in suits and PR. You don't matter. You just don't. So shut the fuck up.
I guess with my 2 years of like the past 2 years of going there, I did always kind of find it this weird, joyless show because it is so business minded and so like focused on just marketing.
Are they trying to change that this year? It feels like people are more excited about E3 like a PAX this year or something, because people are talking about like this Smash tournament and like all this other, like, it's weird. That's a PAX thing where you would have like big tournaments or something, right?
Like Nintendo's role at E3 has been like they don't do the big press conference anymore. It's just a Nintendo Direct and stuff. Like they've been changing their role there a bit.
So that's getting the hype train up a little bit, maybe?
Why the fuck is the term the hype train?
Because it's a train of hype, where one person gets hyped, then another, and then another, until it forms a train.
like specifically around Nintendo, I just see pictures of like all aboard the hype train. It's like Reggie is the engine and all this nonsense. Like it's just like okay, internet,
dude,
okay.
I follow fucking Nintendo's like conferences or whatever, or like media presence as much as I follow Paddington Bear. So it just doesn't. I don't know. Sure.
No, okay, fine. I guess people I follow on Twitter are way up on Nintendo.
Well, specifically a hype train, as like a literal hype train.
Yeah.
Okay.
Literal. Yeah. But okay.
Take it.
Yeah, incredibly marketing kind of focused thing, and it just makes me feel like so weird about video game culture stuff in terms of like, you know, like I've over the last month or so, I've also been reading about the Cannes Film Festival, right? Like that's going on across the world, and like that's an event I would kind of want to be at, whatever, in some way. But it's such a different thing because it's like those are finished things that are being shown off in like their final form, more or less, and like being appraised by film fans. Whereas this is like, I don't know, like like the nature of software makes an event around software kind of weird.
Yeah.
Because it's just like, let's gather up and watch a bunch of commercials for a like 10 or 12 hour thing.
That's why
4 or 5 hour.
That's why when there's people saying this looks great, it's like you don't know that. You watched like
it is meaningless.
I'm going to do this right now. I'm going to click on Kriparian here. He's another YouTube channel. This video right here that I'm looking at, Terrible Priest Deck, looks great.
Yeah.
1080p. Perfect. Like, it's the same fucking thing. You're watching a video. You don't have an opinion on the thing. You are being shown the best things of this product so they can sell it to you. When you sit down and you actually try it, like, LAIR looks beautiful.
I mean, everything about a video game kind of demo is carefully selected, right? Like, it's like meant to sell the thing. So, I don't know. It's like people basing judgments on that is just kind of like not that useful. Like, it's like, even if it crashes or the frame rate is bad, that's not you can't judge that either because that could be totally different when it comes out. Like, it's just like the nature of what it is makes an event that's kind of all about preview stuff, like all about looking at what's next, kind of pointless to me. Of just like, you know, Resident Evil 5 looked fine, like visually and everything.
It still does. I could load it up right now.
Sure, yeah. Fine. I'm just saying, like, my issues with it are only apparent when you play through the whole game and be like, yeah, I didn't really like the pacing. Like, the campaign is kind of structured around 2 people. I didn't really like that.
Well, yeah,
like,
especially
that kind
for
of
you.
stuff. Yeah, I mean, I'm a single-player dude, right? I don't want none of this co-op bullshit. Get that out of my game.
Right.
That is the game. So, stuff like that is just, like, not something previews are going to really point out or catch. So, I don't know. It's just a kind of loud, noisy event that is teasing stuff that is still mysterious. Whereas, like, you know, I can hear stuff out of Cannes Film Festival just like, oh, dude, Steve Carell's performance in Foxcatcher, it's really good. Okay, cool. I have something to look forward to. And, like, that is the opinion that is registered. Maybe I will differ with that opinion, but it's not like, oh, yeah, they actually cut that part out of the movie. Or, like, you know, like, it's like the movie's done. Like, it's not going to change radically from now until 6 months from now when it's Oscar season and I get to see it. So the opinions being registered about it right now are still pretty good. Like, they're still fully informed opinions as opposed to these weird kind of vague soothsayer approximations about what something's going to be like months from now or years from now. It's weird.
And I mean, the stuff that, like, they show on trailers or whatever, the game, that final product might actually be that good. It might even be better. You never know.
Yeah.
But
I know. And, like, so it's like, hey, there's a new Wii U Zelda. okay, I'll play that in 2015 November or whatever, whenever that comes out.
Yeah.
Like, I don't need to kind of look at every screenshot and watch the trailer and be like, oh, because it's not what I'm going to actually play. So who cares?
Right. This
like, I'm already sold on the idea of a new Zelda for the $300 thing I bought.
Yeah.
So I don't need the marketing. Like, maybe that's the thing. Like, is this actually, like, drumming up hype for people who aren't already invested players? You know? Like, it's like, oh, we got to sell you on the new Shinji Mikami game. But no, you know, it's fucking Shinji Mikami.
Well,
I'll check that out.
I think people do forget that E3 is first and foremost a business-centric thing. It's a venture, like where the people are exhibiting their goods. It's like if you were to go to like a farmer's market for video games, basically, and people were like, I have the best pumpkin. Here is a trailer for me growing my pumpkin, so you can see how perfect it is or whatever. And then you look at you look at the pumpkin and you're like, that's a nice fucking pumpkin right there. Like, it's the same type of hype if you're into that sort of thing. That's why like getting hyped up about E3 stuff has never really clicked with me when you talk about the conferences and stuff. What I do like about E3 is that I do think it's important for the industry to have a central place where they can do their wheelings and dealings, show stuff off to the press and stuff, and do get stuff out there for the people that might be interested. It's not, I don't like this idea that it's there to basically act as some weird form of social PR where they're just showing a bunch of people stuff so they tweet and do their advertising for them. That's gross.
Yeah. That's become more and more kind of center stage. You're just like, tweet out this picture of you wearing this thing, and then you might win a copy of the game. And it's just like,
yeah,
I'm like, in theory, especially if I'm at E3, like, aren't I press or something? Like,
no, that is actually long gone.
I mean, I was
right
at the show.
Oh no, like, don't get me wrong, you can go as press. But
yeah, I know. I guess it's just kind of like this weird, like, who is here? Like, who are these people in line at the Konami booth with me who are, like, grabbing at crappy shirts?
Oh, no. For a long time, they've opened it up so you can just pay money, like a convention sort of thing, to go to it. So that's been open for a long time. It used to be press only, but they got rid of that when they realized they could make more money. Because video games.
Oh, really? Like, you can just flat out buy your way in?
Yep. You can.
So, how much is it, though? Isn't it a lot?
You know what? It probably is a pretty good chunk of money, but if you have money and you want to do it, I don't see why you shouldn't be able to. I'm not against that idea.
I guess, except you're I don't know. Like, it's like, are you clogging up the lines for people who belong there? Or, you know, like, not to get entitled about it, but to kind of get entitled about it. I'm just like, look, I'm taking this seriously. I'm trying to, like, see things.
No.
What are you doing?
No, you're not. Because, like, if Jim Sterling walks down, like, he's going to get to the front of the line because he has an audience.
Yeah.
It's just the way
that makes sense.
Always
like,
works.
I mean...
Sorry, go.
I'm not saying, like, other press people get preference. That's fine. I'm saying not press people at all, like Walmart managers or something.
Oh no, they don't get press treatment at all. They have to wait in a line.
Right.
I'm sorry. Maybe
actually,
I don't understand the question.
Sorry. I guess there's also a weird split between press and, like, regular ass press, or just like, you have a press badge, but who cares? Do you have an appointment? Like, that is such a thing there. Of just like,
dude, that's a thing at PAX too, though. That's a thing everywhere. Appointments. That's how you get the scoops, because you don't get the scoops. You get first impressions from like
the PR delivered hand packaged scoops that are prepared for you. The Watch Dogs demo at E3 2012 that I wasn't allowed in because I'm nobody.
Hey, turns out it wouldn't have mattered because that isn't the game that came out. So, whatever.
Yeah.
But, yeah, no, I do get what you're... It's weird that GameSpot and E3 are, like, a thing now together.
GameSpot?
Yeah. The E3 site uses their site layout, And it says GameSpot E3 2014.
Oh, like, I mean, they were kind of broadcasting the conferences and stuff, like, early.
Do they just have, do they have rights to it then? So GameSpot is much bigger than IGN, right? Like, just straight up.
I don't know about that. They were kind of even keel for a while there, but then there was kind of the whole staff thing. I checked out of GameSpot, and if they kept growing after that, that's baffling to me, because I don't know who was there.
Oh, I don't know.
Kevin, what was that guy's name?
Pereira?
Van Ord?
Yeah,
Van Ord?
I was going to say, Kevin Pereira has never been part of that.
No, Van Ord he was kind of the reviewer guy there. I don't even know if he still works there or not. Whatever.
Yeah. Sorry,
I'll play video games when they're out.
I do like to speculate about stuff, though. I've always liked to do that. So there
like
is...
take shots in the dark as to what's going to be good or what?
Well, like I would say more of a hypothesis, like an educated, like, decision or opinion on something, maybe. Mm-hmm. But I don't know. I just feel more and more that every time I see a trailer, LAIR really fucked me up, I guess, is what I'm going back to. Because, like, every time I see a trailer, I see something I want. I just do. Because that's what they're meant to do. When I actually play it, maybe not all the time, maybe I don't get that. That's all. Mm-hmm. That's all I'm saying. Okay. Do you want to know how much the pass is?
Sure.
$795.
Okay. Yeah, I think I did read that a couple years ago.
Oh, it's actually different. That's an Expo pass. The industry pass apparently is, like, free, obviously, because industry. But, like, yeah, I don't know why they differentiate. Maybe they do, like, if you have an industry pass, like, pass all these Expo people. Like, just walk past them. Maybe. No. Mine was free. Yeah.
It's just...
I think even, like GameStop employees can get passes, right? Like, they're considered free.
No, yeah. There's ways to apply within certain channels and get free passes. But I guess I'm just saying, like, is there a way to just flat out just buy a pass and then be considered the same level?
Oh, I don't know if you're...
I think you effectively are, is what I'm saying, because, like, I was waiting in line for Metal Gear Rising Revengeance for, like, 3.5 hours with who knows who. Like, just everybody. So, yeah. And, I mean, that game's fine, but nothing is worth that.
So, it's kind of like... E3 is basically PAX, because PAX will cost you $800 for a ticket when they sell out and the scalpers get on eBay.
I don't know, but yeah, I mean, it sold out within like an hour or whatever this year, but yeah. I don't know. I'm getting weirdly irritated talking about it. I don't.
Okay. Okay, no, we can move on. That's fine. I just wanted to ask one question because I don't remember. Did you go as press for top-down or for the site?
Both. one year and one the other, just to kind of see if we had clout kind of thing, you know?
And did we?
Yeah, they've made it. It was fun.
You slept on the floor. The real Pixel Response treatment, right?
Experience. Yeah.
Yeah, you do sound irritated. I apologize for that. But at the same time, it's kind of fun.
I don't know. I'm just like I just have to leave like the video game industry for a while. Like just like go be all incestuous with game creators and act like it's fine. Like go hang out with the co-CEO of Sony.
Yeah, no. Like what you have to do.
I don't get it. Like it's just.
I'm gonna give you some advice, maybe. You can take it with a grain of salt.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe just like get away from all that and sit down and just play video games. Like, just don't think.
I know,
about
yeah.
else.
Like, I don't. Yeah, I'm trying to. Okay, is it super weird that Giant Bomb like knows Adam Boyes? Shouldn't that be like a professional distance thing?
If
you know,
if we're talking specifically about Giant Bomb,
Yeah, like they're the kind of dudes I invested like my time and attention to for a decade.
Always had trouble with like the ideas of their integrity when it comes to like reviewing stuff. What I go to them for is silly internet videos. I've never gone to them for reviews or for their opinions on the industry ever, because they're way too close to everybody.
Like their kind of affable, lighthearted fun is like okay to a point, but then it just becomes kind of like, this is fucking weird. Like I don't.
And
you shouldn't know this person.
And this is why, upon finding Total Biscuit, I was like, this is the guy. Like, this is a guy that is, like, getting his videos taken down because he's telling developers that their game is terrible, and why. Like, this is the dude I should be listening to for, like, his opinions on stuff, even though I might disagree with him on some stuff. At least he has...
Like, do you feel like giant, like, the guys, when they were even at GameSpot, like, were... Like, I feel like it's just so much has changed in the last decade. Like, I'm saying, like, what if Total Biscuit 10 years from now, like, for all we know, right now, he knows, like, Terry Kavanaugh and stuff, because, like, they're British, right?
Oh, dude, no, like, he does. He's very close with, I think, Warhammer people, because, like, he loved Warhammer, and then, like, they reach out to him. Yeah, no, it happens. And that's why if a Warhammer thing comes out, I won't listen to his opinion on it. I just can pick and choose. I can't pick and choose with Giant Bomb, because Jeff Gerstmann has been in the industry so fucking long, he knows everybody. Like,
right. So like, you know, he knows Ed Boon, so it's just like Mortal Kombat, God of 5. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, like, that's what I'm talking about. Or it's like, I'm not going to ask him what he thinks about the new David Jaffe joint, because, like, they're best buds too. Like, this is the thing where it's like, at least this guy, he's just a weird YouTube personality, and, like, I know he is biased with 3 things. So those 3 things, whatever. Everything else, yeah, let's go.
Or, like, I guess the thing is it's like, I would assume with some of these, if the relationship gets too close, they just won't post a review. But that's kind of bad, too. Like, it's like, I want the 3 out of 5 Transistor review to exist, but it won't.
You think it's a 3 out of 5?
I personally don't, but I'm saying that's how low they would ever feel comfortable going. Kind of.
Yeah, right? Well, I know you would think maybe like a 2. I think a 2 for you, right?
With my current experience with it, sure.
Like, does that sound fair for how you've talked about it? I would say you would think it 2.
Yeah, it's at a 2 right now. Like, maybe it'll turn it around somehow, but I'm not, but, like, they'll just kind of tap out of doing a review. Like, it's just like, now we're too close to people, we're not going to review it. Whereas this is like, yeah, we're pretty close to the people, it's really bad. You know? Like, just, that would be more refreshing to me. I'm just like, okay, like, they're willing to put it on the line to kind of make these calls.
They're really close with Dave Lang, and they reviewed his stuff, right?
Did they review?
Yeah, Jeff loved Dive Kick.
Oh, Dive Kick, yeah, they talked a lot of love about Dive Kick, which that is weird to me because I don't like Dive Kick at all.
So like
it's funny for an hour. I don't fucking get it.
I guess the thing is, like, if you're going to talk about, like, your one friend's game that you really like and you say how much you like it, you should still be able to say that you like Bastion and then say I didn't Transistor as much. Like,
yeah, no, it's like they'll informally say they liked Bastion a lot. Like, it was on their top 10 games of the year and everything. But there's no star rating review on their website.
Right, which is weird because it's like, well, you have an opinion on it. Why don't you just put it out there?
I mean, they did, but not with a score.
Right, so they didn't, because, like, you have to dig a little bit. I mean, like, put it out there. Like, there is a number on this site if you look it up.
Sure, I don't know. I just...
You're disenfranchised with them.
Totally. Like, I mean, it's kind of also, like, it's my first week where I haven't listened to, like, a new Bombcast or anything. Like, I'm just kind of cutting ties. But...
That sounds like it's not the only thing you're cutting right now.
Yeah.
So depressed. Cut my
I'm not that. No.
I cut my thighs.
I'm not.
Pain. At least feeling pain is feeling something.
It's not quite like that.
Anyways, we don't really care about E3, so we don't think you're wrong. That's the answer.
Okay. There you go.
Okay. It is too hot right now where I live. I hate sweating. How do you and Grandpa Nathan deal with the heat? That's not a huge problem for Canada, usually. So
we're on a second floor now, though, so it's way hotter than it was before.
Yeah.
You don't wear clothes at home.
Yep.
I ate some strawberries today. Those were kind of refreshing.
Oh, Slurpees and stuff? Like anything that's just basically ice.
Yeah, cold beverages, water. Yeah. Stay hydrated. And
fans.
Yeah, just less blankets. Fans would be good. We have some ceiling fans in here.
Oh, that's not enough. You need a oscillating fan.
Yeah.
And when you get one, I don't know how afraid you are of leaving stuff on while you're gone all day. Just leave it on literally 24 hours. It helps a lot.
What kind of ding on the electricity bill would that be, though? We pay that now. So. Oh
yeah, I guess that it's honestly not bad because it's just a fan. Basically, it's like a small motor.
Yeah.
So
it can't be. It's our first month, so I have no idea. What can we expect from a heating bill or electricity bill? I don't know.
It honestly can't be more than a laptop or not a laptop, sorry, a desktop computer with fans running in it all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So
okay,
I'm sure it would be fine. But I think that's just kind of generic ways to beat the heat, right? Like ice packs, I guess, if you're really way too hot.
Yeah, sit in front of the open fridge. Don't do that. Waste of money.
Yeah, that's not a good idea at all.
Yeah.
Shade wherever you can find it, with fresh air being able to blow on you. That's
I guess close the shades, get the sun out.
Yeah, close the shades if over your windows for sure. And I mean, obviously, if you have the capability, air conditioning. So if it's really hot, you can go into your car or something. Just let the air conditioning go for a bit, cool off, and then go back inside. I don't know, just stuff like that.
I guess, brief aside, are shorts not appropriate for work, or what's the word on that?
I think they're appropriate if you're warehouse, not if you're us. So I'm gonna say tentatively no, but we can find out about that. Okay, and last question. Marshmallow says, do you take the saying PC Master Race seriously? The actual term, no. I'm pretty sure that was always a tongue-in-cheek joke, right?
Well, I don't know. There's some long-standing PC gamers that I'm sure take it more seriously, but
the actual term, PC Master Race, the Aryan Nation of gaming or something?
Well, no, just kind of it is inherently a superior thing.
I don't know if he's saying, do you take because he says, do you take the saying PC Master Race seriously?
Do you actually believe the PC trumps all?
No, I think what he's saying is literally, PC Master Race, do you take that seriously at all? And, nobody does, I don't think, right? Because it's basically the Aryan Nation of gaming. When you say that.
I'm going to broaden it to my question of, do you think PC trumps all?
For my purposes, yes. For sure, 100%. But,
whereas, I guess, with how much I've been enjoying the Vita and stuff lately, it's just that kind of portability and earlier today I saw
shield. I can't even say that.
I saw a dude sitting on the bus with a full laptop on his lap, playing some Naruto fighting game or something. I was just that's just, what are you doing? That's not portable gaming. What? It just seems.
I think it technically is if you can move it. But yeah, I know what you're getting at.
It's just crazy and elegant. It's I'm gonna strap this third-party screen thing to my GameCube and then take it on the bus. It's just what are you doing?
Yeah, but at the same time, then you could play GameCube where your Vita can't. I don't know. It just depends what you want to play.
But I guess I'm saying there's hardware-specific things that are just kind of neat to me that I like.
Yeah.
That a PC just doesn't have. Or even Nintendo two-screen gimmickry. Like, that's at least a distinct thing. Like, blow on the microphone. I can't do that. Like, I mean, I could through some weird, drivers and getting a mic or something, but it's just like that. There's kind of these weird hardware.
You're talking specifically right now about like Nintendo, because you can't recreate any, even just normal console Nintendo stuff on PC. Really?
Well, even Vita stuff has like the touchscreen stuff. Like Frobisher says, can't happen on a PC. So I guess I'm just saying, like, having a more variety of platforms makes like people cater to different things.
Sure.
So it's like, hey, we got WarioWare Twisted. Turn the whole system. Like, that wouldn't ever have come to be on a PC. So it's just kind of like
all the stuff you're explaining right now, though, is like the most inherently boring ideas for gimmicks for video games to me, though. So maybe I'm okay with.
Dude, WarioWare Twisted is better than all that Half-Life, dude.
Yeah, okay.
All of it. No, dude, I'm like, I don't know. Like, it's better than RTS games as a genre.
Nope.
To me.
Well, yeah,
RTS games can, like, get fucked. I don't know.
I was waiting for the end of that. It's like, wow, this is taking a while.
Yeah, I'm just, like, trying to come up with something more.
Something a little more original.
Yeah. Like Total War series.
Yeah, Total War.
Who needs it?
What a weird call. I think I have some of that just because it was part of a pack.
Exactly. Like, like there's going to be PC people that gravitate to these weird genres and stuff, but I don't know. Like, I guess it's just like hardware limitations can sometimes breed creativity, and I like that. I'm just like, we don't have like hard power, like hardware. We just have like this set number of colors and stuff that we can pull off.
Well,
but that's still, Super Nintendo games can still be great.
For game developers, for sure. But, like, what about when you're Nintendo and you're setting that limitation for your developers, where it's like, well, we could, like, make a handheld HD.
Oh, like when they're designing the console?
Yeah, so it's like, maybe we could make an HD, like, handheld thing, and it would be, like, the Vita killer or something. I don't know. But we're not going to. We're going to stick with, like, these cutesy little me graphics. Like, at that point, then it's kind of weird, but it's like, you're limiting.
Nintendo caters to, like, their strengths, not third-party demands at all.
Which is kind of a whole different topic that we could go on, but yeah.
I don't know. I guess it's just like, no, it's not inherently better. It's kind of, like, generic dumb shit comes out on PC, too.
Oh, so, more so, honestly. Because it doesn't have to go through any process.
Like, it's a wide open field, so you're going to get a lot of stuff. And some of it is really great. And in cases where there's, like...
I like the real Texas.
Exactly.
Whatever.
Yeah, okay. It's fine. Still Paradise Boat Rescue.
You're right, actually. That is a very, like... I was going to say different, but...
Totally different thing, yeah.
Fun experience. I don't know. It's good.
Yeah, it's open season on the PC, dude. Sometimes,
that's what I like about it, though. That, like, the 13-year-old kid that spent all year, his grade 7 year, rather than, like, doing religion class or whatever class he's doing, like, just went to the computer lab and made something nifty. That's what I like. That is kind of the Wild West, where it's like, you get the retards that put out terrible shit like Rampage, which is just like, I'm basically making an offensive piece of garbage that doesn't play well. But then you get the people that are making really, like, touching little things, or like Depression Quest or something that only they were able to do because of their lack of being able to get, like, a dev kit for Sony or something.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
No, there's positive things for sure. Like, I mean, and in cases where there's multi-platform stuff, like, I'm going to play BioShock Infinite where it looks best, which is on PC, kind of thing.
I don't know. But just shooters in general on PC, I like the mouse for shooters, so there's that.
Oh, I play with controller anyway.
Oh,
I basically just make it a console.
Slow. Like, there is some stuff I play with a controller. I can't imagine somebody playing Dark Souls with a keyboard and mouse. They must be, like, insane if they do.
Yeah.
But he had some like responses to his own question about what he thought. Should we quickly just go through that?
Okay.
He said, I think it's horseshit because despite being better than consoles in terms of capabilities, they are less reliable and more expensive if you want to seriously game on them. You put a game in a console and you know you will play it, but a lot of people have shitty PCs or internet making gaming very efficient and less enjoyable. Also, to get a good PC, you require a lot more information, such as things like RAM and processors, which could be troublesome for people who aren't as informed on the workings of a PC. I kind of rebutted to him on Twitter, and I said less reliable is basically inaccurate, but like less user friendly, definitely. I could definitely see
that. I mean, it's kind of this thing of like, if I am on a fixed platform, I just adjust to it. Like, it's just like, like when I was playing PS2 a lot, I would play San Andreas there and just like, yeah, it's fine. And then when I would see how good the frame rate is elsewhere, then it becomes a problem. But in that kind of, like, in those confines, it's just, you just get used to it. It's just a thing. So the draw distance and everything is totally playable. It's just worse than it is elsewhere. So with PC, it's kind of weird because it's like those variables are in your hands. So it's just like, yeah, well, now I'm kind of not really enjoying Aspect 2 that much because I know that, like, you know, Morden's head could look better if only I juiced this up a little bit or something. Like, it's just like weird and distracting to me. Of just like, I totally enjoyed my time with Skyrim on 360, not ever thinking about the fact that it looks worse just because that's how it looks. Like, it's just, this is how it looks. I can't change that. Whereas if I could change it, it becomes this weird kind of stressful thing.
Well, if you just wanted to use PC like a console, a lot of games will auto-detect the best settings for your like PC already. So you could just...
And you just click and go.
You could just start up a game and just start playing. But, I mean, if you're PC gaming, there's a reason, and it's because you like to have control over things. So you always go into the options. Like, that's just the way it goes. But, I don't know. I guess the thing is that, like, if you wanted to learn about stuff and have more control over stuff, then it's hard to go to a console. But if you just wanted to, like, throw a game in and have it work most of the time, that's obviously the way to go.
Like, just have the game speak for itself, like, just not have to worry about fixing with it.
Yeah,
just like, I mean, this is as the developer intended in some way. I'm just going to play it. It's just like, I got just the field of view. I don't like the field of view.
I do that all the time. Field of view is super important.
I don't, like, do you get nauseous? Like, what is happening?
It just, like, if it's too high or if it's too low, it looks kind of, like, clunky and weird. If it's too high, it does a weird, like, fishbowl effect that's really disorienting. So, it depends on your monitor and stuff, too. But, I guess just as a closer for this whole thing also, is that if a system kind of, like, hard locks or freezes up on me, I'm just fucked. If it's on a PC, I can usually fix it. Like, there is something I could do to fix, like, to tinker with it and make sure that I could run a game. Or, like, other people have, like, patched a fix or something. So, I don't know. I like being able to have full control over something like that. But if, like, you just wanted to buy a game and have it work, it's probably not for you, just straight up, because
I guess
there's so many
even
variables.
Just like a little thing, like when I first booted Transistor, it was like zoomed in on the top left corner, like it was overscanning like crazy. Weird. And I had to like go into some someone found a fix for it in the Steam forum, so I like went into some files in the in the Transistor folder and just kind of altered a thing, and it's like, okay, there, now it works.
That must have been like a day one thing or something. I never saw anything like that.
It might just be RTV or something too. Like BioShock, the first one, did that and stuff too. Like, it's just like a thing that happens. But like that is a weird X factor variable with RPC that would never happen on a PlayStation 4. I'm just like, yeah, it just doesn't work. It's zoomed in weird. It's just like even if it does, I get to kind of immediately pass that annoyance on to the developer and be like, they fucked up, as opposed to like, well, now you gotta adjust the setting.
Right.
Like it's not my fault. You shipped a broken game. Like I feel better about that than you need to fix it. Like
right.
I need to fix it.
See, I would rather just fix it because then I get to play instead of just like have a product I can't use because someone else fucked up.
I just years of sacrificing that right because I'm a console owner. It's just like, yeah, this version sucks. And it's like, okay, I will take it.
Well, yeah. No, I still understand. Yeah. I don't still understand it. It's just that since like making the switch, it's hard to go back because it's basically like, I don't know, it's freeing being able to like work on your own problems with something a little bit, whereas it's sometimes like stressful and annoying, but there's almost a certain like, yeah, I did it after. Like it's working now. A sense of accomplishment before you even played it.
Yeah.
Or a sense of accomplishment of like fine-tuning this game that just like fine-tuning Crysis 2 on this shitty card you've had for 5 years because you haven't upgraded yet and making it so it still plays fine and like just looks a little worse. Meh. Either way.
Tweakers.
It doesn't really matter. Consoles games, or PC, basically the same fucking games come out on both eventually unless you're Nintendo. So, whatever. Anyways, that's it. We're done. How do you feel about that?
Pretty good. My voice is kind of getting crackly, so.
Yeah. It's from all the anger.
Just choking on video game rage.
Yeah.
I like movies more right now.
Yeah.
They're just better at doing things.
Well, they're better
to... If you want to hear a story, pop it in and watch it.
They're better to just, like, take in, for sure. They've always been that way, though. Where it's just like, I just want to watch a movie sort of thing.
Like, there's this variability of, like, video games where it's just like, is this as intended or because the programmer sucks? You know? Like, is this supposed to be like this to serve some higher purpose? Or was this barely enough to get it shipped?
Do you have an idea, like, for an example?
Oh, man. Like, even things I appreciate. Like, I like Deadly Premonition. I'm sure a lot of things about that game, presentation-wise, are because they are bad at game development. But because their higher purpose was we're going to riff on Twin Peaks and make a weird Twin Peaks simulator, I was still like, oh, man, totally awesome. But, I mean...
That's why the enemy models bend all weird. It's not because, like...
Or what, even like, stuff that's changeable, like, it's just like, hey, you can adjust the field of view. It's just like, really? So, like, it's just a purely functional thing then. It's not like they wanted to kind of show off something in a specific way or kind of selected their camera in a specific way. It's just purely functional. Like, it's like, how do we make the experience for the user more optimal? Not more interesting or more challenging or more creative in some way.
Well, there are games
more
that do that.
Likely for them to finish it. Like what? Like what pushes the boundaries of like creative expression? Starseed Pilgrim, maybe.
Wait, creative expression.
Well, I mean, like just like you playing it isn't like you winning isn't obviously necessarily what's going on. You know, like it's like more like it has deeper goals or something than just seeing the end credits. Like it's not like every time I sit down see a movie, it's like, oh man, I got to see those end credits. Like it's like I'm experiencing a story, and hopefully it is worth experiencing.
Yeah.
Whereas like a game, at some point, like a lot of time with games, it's just like, I just want to beat this thing. That's a weird compulsion. Like it just be like, this is fucking terrible. Done.
Yeah, then you just stop playing it. I don't see what the argument here is.
I guess, but haven't you ever beaten a game that isn't good?
Yeah, and then after I played Quantum Theory, I made a promise to myself that if I wasn't having fun with something like Last of Us, I would put it away.
Okay. Fair enough. I mean, I guess I just beat myself up about that.
Because like Quantum Theory, I was so angry the whole time I played that, and I didn't want to feel that again. Because like video games should be fun. They shouldn't be a job like that.
I think I'm kind of clashing two different ethics of like what warrants, you know, like with a movie, if you haven't seen the whole movie, you don't get to express an opinion about it. Because you don't know.
No, I agree, for sure.
And I mean, even the longest movie is like 4 hours.
Right.
Whereas like
that's the difference.
some of the
yeah,
like some of the shorter video games are 4 hours, you know, like it's a different standard.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, you know, like I was kind of for a long time applying this thing, and like, you know, I guess this is one of those GameSpot giant bomb things of like, you have to finish the game to review it, you know?
Jim Sterling never thought that at all.
Okay, but I'm saying this is the kind of ethos I grew up watching and emulating. So it's just like, well, I sure don't enjoy Far Cry 3 at all, but I'm not allowed to review it because I didn't beat it. Like, maybe it turns it around. But it's, like, not the same as a movie, where it's just like, no, it is doing storytelling wrong. It can't turn that around. It's doing it wrong.
Right.
Like, zero fail.
Which is why I still, like, I had a discussion with someone on our site about this. I still strongly believe that we shouldn't, like, storytelling in a video game is one of the least important things. It's still important, but, like, you wouldn't judge, well, you can, because films are just a completely different thing. When you're talking about something interactive, you have to judge more about how that the mechanic...
Like, how is this as an activity?
That's right, yeah, instead of a spectator thing.
So I guess there are, like, you know, generally speaking, yes. You know, like, because is this a fun piece of software? You wouldn't
judge, like, a book on, well, I had fun turning the page. The page-turning mechanic was really good when I...
Yeah, oh, man, it's such a nice, like, crisp paper. They really printed it on like, some really good paper. Right. It was really fun. The ink didn't smear off on my fingers or anything.
Right. You judge a book based on what it does, which is tell a story. What a video game does is it puts an interactive experience into your hand, so you judge the interactiveness, the activity itself, the mechanics,
right?
All of that.
But, okay, that is one ethos, that is one kind of way of doing it, whereas a lot of game reviews will kind of, you know, hey, Walking Dead comes out. Oh man, the narrative's so good, 5 out of 5. And it's like, okay, the part where you're playing it, though, how is that part? Well, it serves the story. Okay. But as we all know, video games suck ass at telling stories. So who cares? How is the actual game? Oh, it's kind of pretty straightforward. You're kind of clicking on different dialogue options and stuff. You know, like, no one really separates the two in that case. They really favor the narrative and say it's amazing, but it's like relative to storytelling things like books and movies. I don't know if I would say that about that at all.
Well, I mean, what a video game what a video game should want to do is have both in tandem for like the perfect experience. Like
give you a good experience,
right?
So maybe you'll find some sort of story-like component in that experience.
And that's totally fine. Like, in that case, I can see how people made an argument for The Walking Dead. Like, we'll just use this example. Whereas, like, this is why this whole thing, the conversation I was having with somebody, there was a video that came out that someone did, and it was based on the, like, not a game tag or whatever, or, like, calling things that aren't games and they're maybe just, like, an interactive story or something. I don't know. But I put up a little, like, editorial piece just mainly to showcase it. And my thing was that since video games are still young and they haven't perfected how they can do stuff mechanically, we shouldn't care about the story yet. We should work on the ground level where, how is this as a game? Okay, it's solid. Now how is the narrative? Sort of thing. Like,
okay.
Whereas, like, with a book, right? We'll go back to a book. You would say, how is the story first? Now, how was the formatting and how was it bound? Like, that sort of stuff. Like, was I able to turn the page without ripping the paper in half? If you were to...
Sure, is this a good edition or release of this book?
But the more important thing in that case is the story, the narrative. Like,
yeah.
So that's why this whole, like, is it a game, is it not a game, blah, blah, blah. It's kind of important because if you're going to say something's a game, in your mind, that should set aside this, like, this is how it is mechanically. Now, what they do on top of it for story can work in tandem with it to create a very good experience or whatever, or it can just be a boring piece of shit like Gone Home. Whereas I found Gone Home's, like, looking around and stuff, it was fine. It was serviceable, but what it tried to do was tell a story that I didn't care about, so it failed in that respect, like joining the two. But as a quote-unquote game, it was fine. But as a, like, product or whatever, it wasn't, because they were trying to go for an interactive story. Because I don't feel like what they were doing was, we want to make a game and then have this story in it. They were like, I want to have this story and then, like, put a game around it somehow. Maybe.
Yeah.
It's kind of subjective, and I can see both sides of it. I've always, or not always, I used to love story over everything. And I do love backstory and lore on, like, stuff. But more importantly is, if I'm loading this up and I have a controller in my hand, am I going to have enough of a decent time with what they have built that I feel motivated to continue on with what they have written?
Okay.
Maybe we're just completely different thoughts on that. I don't know. It doesn't matter.
No.
Both seem valid.
It's like, I don't know. Like, I keep thinking of Zero Escape as kind of this high watermark for me. Of just, like, that is interesting writing that happens to be in something that could be described maybe as a video game.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, yeah, like, it's kind of technical components. Like, it's like, how are the character models and stuff? Like, it's like, well, they don't detract from the story, which is what's really important.
Right.
In this case, which is really rare. You know? Like, it's like, so I don't know.
In that case, what they're doing is they're, like, the story is the reason why people should like this. The mechanics should take a back seat. And in that case, I would not call that a quote-unquote game, if it's just literally flipping a page sort of thing with, like, a stylus or a button. I don't know. I haven't played it, so, like, filming...
Sure, yeah. I mean, it is so much more book-like in its nature and how it's interested in doing things like a comic or something, but it takes advantage of the fact that it is delivering it through software in a way that is cool and, like, interesting and compelling. Yeah. Whereas, like, it kind of owns its form, embraces its softwareness, and then something like a lot of adventure game type stuff seems to be aping cinema, and it can't do it as well.
Right.
So it becomes this weird pale imitation thing.
Right.
Like, even stuff I like Metal Gear, it's like, this is like a weird machinima on PS2 that is trying to be a movie. Like,
right.
What? This is so weird. Like, why would you ever do that?
Mm-hmm.
But here it is. So, you know, like, it's such a strange thing. Anyway, I'm tired.
Yeah.
I don't have, like, final analysis or whatever, obviously, but yeah, video games. Like I almost want to start thinking about, like, Tomodachi as, like, a narrative thing, because it's just kind of slotting in names and variables that you put into, like, kind of generic things, but that's funny. Honestly, so it works.
Honestly, I still stick behind, and I feel good calling it a toy. Like, it's a digital toy. And that's fine, because it's just there for a little bit of fun every now and then. It's not there to, like, you can form your own stories with it. Like, you can form your stories about, like, the football star who broke his leg and then, like, came back in the third or something.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you can form your stories around toys or games. But like, there's
no narrative drive behind it. It's just kind of a little story generating.
It really is.
Sure. Like the same way you're playing with like action figures, and it's like I'm playing with toys, but I'm making little stories for them to motivate my playtime with it.
Yeah, Spider-Man and Batman were talking to Sailor Moon, and they decided they would go fight Red nondescript guy found at a garage sale. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, that guy's causing some problems on this train.
Yeah.
They gotta stop him.
It's literally the same thing in a little digital form, and that's fine.
That's one way to go too, yeah.
But, I mean, just as a closer to the game or not a game thing, I changed my thoughts on, like, the actual tag not a game, and, like, realized that, no, the reason why people use this tag is to, like, have a pretentious sounding, like you're not part of the cool club sort of thing. So it was it always was derisive, like just straight up.
Well, like it sounds like, well, it being a game is the best thing it could ever be. So like, I don't know if that's actually true.
That's like tagging something at a movie theater, not a movie. Like when you're tagging something on a gaming platform as not a game, you're just being a jerk. Like that's all.
I'm trying to think, like the only few cases where I'd actually like think of people saying that is like the Pokemon movie, where it's just like, this is like 3 episodes of the show taped together. This is not a movie.
Right.
You know? Like that kind of phrasing. I'm just like, this, like, or like the Clone Wars movie. Like, this is just a pilot for a TV show.
Kind of.
This is not a movie.
Kind of.
Yeah. It rarely happens, but it can.
Yeah. But I mean, internet people are jerks. So they went with it and called everything not a game that they didn't like eventually. So it always was a term for jerks to say jerky things. So I did rescind that. I was like, no, you're right. Like the actual term not a game has always just been an asshole thing. It hasn't been people trying to further the medium of game journalism by classifying.
This is discourse about the terminology of this form. Like, no, this is just asshole.
Yeah, it's just being it's like when people put console for description.
Yeah, exactly.
And
we'll play more of that tomorrow.
Yeah, and we'll end on that. Have a good week, everybody. We'll see you next time. Thank you for joining us. Stitcher, thumbs up, Amazon link, all that. Goodbye.
BurningBarrel.co